week, fans, and welcome to another edition of the ABL's Top Plays. Without further ado, let's get to it.
All across the map, a little favor going in on Pectus, going for the 1v1 as the Owlstar uses the Ignite. Pectus is very low, and the snipe from Psy. He is shut down as well. Saber Flavor will take down the jungle though. Oh, we're gonna get the resets. That's a double, that's a triple, going for the penta. There's the quadra kill. Is it the pentakill? The quadra, and it is the pentakill for Saber Flavor on the Tristan. 4,000 health, trying to fire over the wall. Here comes the ultimate, and it secures the kill! Baron goes to Reborn Gaming! He's gonna try and get on the backline. Here comes Tyrant Rex. Oh, they're trying to get out the damage. Anonymous Nub does have the Satchel Charge. Can he take down Ducky? We need the resets. Tyrant Rex, and he is still going after him. The resets for Anonymous Nub. He's got the double kill. Can I get the penta? That's the triple. There's the quadra. He's going for the penta. That's the pentakill. 3 pentakills on stream. Anonymous Nub goes off, and Tristana has single-handedly carried them back into this game. I guess once this fight, a little favor goes in. Oh, the shockwave catches 4. The Emperor's New Guide is going to push them back. Azir forced to flash away. Good job from you, Myron, bro. They are responding a little bit here, but he's going to, but the shockwave will land onto 2. Wild Dog forced the back way, uses the ultimate, but Prayer is onto the back line. We're going to see a fight, folks. We're going 5v5. Wild Dog trying to back away from Prayer. He's caught between 4 members, but can his team support him? He will die. Now, there's Gnarly Brood, the 3-man Gnar ultimate. Wombat could go down. The double kill to Hunty, though. Wild Dog in full retreat. Can they chase him down? They will. The triple kill. But they are going to try and engage here. Tyrant Rex in big trouble. LCS Locky in the backline is going to get the stun on the next level plays. Possibly. Here comes Lone Crow. He did teleport in. Now that's the double kill for Vitalis. Ooh, the ultimate from the Lux and the triple kill for the Tristana. Could we get a pentakill 2 games in a row? Going for Ducky. The ultimate, or the auto attack lands. Can we get it? The pentakill 2 games in a row. Anonymous Nub. You get whatever skin you want, Vitalis. You better buy him a skin.
That's all for now, folks. Thanks for watching. Catch all the ABL action on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, and don't forget to subscribe below.
Hello, Twitch, and welcome back to week 6 of the ABL series here at twitch.tv/ABL Esports. I am your host, as always, Yeso, bringing you all of the play-by-play hype. And joining me to break down all of tonight's action, my good friend Audio Adrenaline, hopefully with all the audio stuff figured out this week. But yes. Welcome back to the desk, my friend. How are we feeling?
I'm feeling great. Adrenaline has found his audio back. I got a new mic for y'all, so hopefully no problems rocking the HyperX Cloud 2s. Fresh from Los Angeles, where I just came back from week 8 of the LCS.
Yeah, like we were talking about earlier, you were out in my neck of the woods.
Yeah,
did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was absolutely amazing. Got to see a lot of stars. Tried to recruit me, but I was like, got this ABL thing rocking, so wanted to bring it home for all you guys.
Okay, I see how it is. All right, well, thank you so much for joining me today, Audio. Happy to have you on the cast, and thank you so much to all of you at home for joining us tonight as well. We appreciate all of you guys showing up every week. The numbers have been honestly staggering, just the support that we get on a consistent basis, the amount of views that we continue to bring in, and that's all, thanks to all of you guys at home for coming out. So we certainly appreciate it, and that's always going to be the best way that you guys can support us. Every Monday and Tuesday night at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, we are live here at twitch.tv/ABL Esports. If you guys want to support us in other ways, best ways to do that, check out the follow and subscribe buttons at the top of your screen. If you want to get some cool emotes, you can subscribe. You can check those out right there in that little message. Also, if you want to consider donating, you can do that. The donation link is in the description of the channel. And for any info that you guys need about the ABL series, whether it be stats, standings, schedules, rosters, all that kind of good stuff, make sure to head over to ablseries.com. That link is in the description as well. And if you do head over there right now, you can check out the Week 6 prediction article, which is listed under the news tab. And I do want to point out one thing. Tonight's match that we are featuring, No Name Necessary versus Reborn Gaming, a couple of teams that are pretty close in the standings. No Name Necessary only a win behind Reborn Gaming, sitting in 4th place. And if you look at those week 6 predictions, this was actually the most tightly or most closely predicted series this week. A majority of the other ones were at least 2/3 in favor of one team or the other, but this one sitting at just 55% of people voting predicting a win for Reborn Gaming. So no name necessary, very, very close in the predictions, and I'd have to say that does follow suit. I think no name necessary have quietly climbed their way up the standings over the last couple of weeks, have certainly really started to impress people, and I would expect them to bring out all the stops tonight against Reborn.
Yeah, absolutely. Both teams are definitely stacked with a lot of really great players. So we're going to see a lot of action, hopefully really fun game as these teams duke it out for those playoff spots.
Yeah, definitely going to have to see just how this one shakes out. Certainly a lot of implications here as these teams battle for playoff positioning. Just remember that the top 8 teams in the league do make the postseason. So only the 9th seed won't play after week number 9. The little wrinkle that is in there, though, is that the 6th, 7th, and 8th seeds will have to play in a mini gauntlet to kind of make the official, big dance there at the end, the bracket stage. So every position that these teams can move up is very, very important. We are going to give them the ready here in the lobby so that we can get Champion Select here started momentarily. But we will hit you with that roster rundown prior to starting Champion Select. On the blue side here for game number 1 will be no name necessary. Their top laner Jihoon Kim, formerly known as Swift, the Season 1 champion that used to be part of the Vital Point organization. Buster Toast, their all-star jungler. Pectus Escavatus in the mid lane. Umiranbra, their AD carry. And ZGM Penguin rounding out that lineup at the support position.
And on the red side, we have Reborn Gaming. We have Prayer in the top lane, Hunter in the jungle, Wombat in the mid lane, and Pixel Dreams and Zinski, the duo in the bot lane today. We are into Champion Select now. First ban comes out, no surprise, Varus on the blue side, no name necessary. Varus has been tearing it up in the bot lane recently, especially with Rage Blade being such a strong item right now. Coupled with Wit's End, just such an early power spike for that champion, and late game only gets better. So definitely not shocked to see that come out from the blue side.
Definitely going to be curious to see what these teams prioritize early in draft. We saw last night some heavy prioritization on strong AD carries, specifically Xayah was first picked by Rolex in game number 1 and then subsequently banned afterwards. I know Xayah Rakan is a very powerful bot lane in the current meta, so I'm curious to see if no name necessary does want to take that early. And it almost forces red side, if you aren't willing to take it as Reborn, you may just have to ban the Xayah away. So going to be interesting to see if that can force either of these teams' hands in the draft phase of this series.
Yeah, we've also been seeing, as well as AD carry, which can be there we go. There's the Xayah ban away from Reborn Gaming. So deterring that just bot lane power that comes with that combo. But mid lane also has been shaken up a lot recently with the changes to to a couple of items and the introduction of some new AP items, specifically scaling mid laners such as Ryze and Nivea. Those kind of champions have become completely dominant. So we should be able to see some teams fighting over some picks there. But we see Camille, Xin Zhao coming out from No Name Necessaries, well, the Zac and the Xayah that we talked about on Reborn Gaming. A lot of skirmishing potential in the top lane, as well as these strong AD carries in the bottom lane. And Talia being the final ban for Reborn Gaming, as we now get into our first round of picks. No Name Necessary does lock in Ezreal. Ezreal, a very safe pick in the bottom lane, doesn't scale quite as well, but if you can get some hard CC to support him, some protections, he can definitely be an extreme nuisance. High skill ceiling. But the Janna Caitlyn coming out from Reborn Caitlyn, that is a tough lane. Caitlyn, after Tristana received, 2 nerfs in these last couple patches, Caitlyn has kind of rose up in priority, kind of taken her place as one of the premier crit ADCs, kind of focused more on objective control than, the kill everything ADC, but especially with the Janna, lots of range, lots of safety. It's going to be hard to, lane against that. Braum, kind of the premier Caitlyn counter, will help protect the Ezreal, but that's definitely very heavy poke lane. We see Pectus hovering that Zed. Might want to get a little more aggressive in the mid lane. Have to be careful about packing too much AD into their team, though. Looks like he will lock in the Skarner, though. Skarner has been doing extremely well in the jungle for the last couple patches. Very tanky, kind of, plays the same role as a Sejuani, diving in, getting picks. Can be so fast, especially if you put Predator on him. Got your crystals. Righteous Glory can get into the backline extremely fast. Janna should be able to help with deterring some of that, though. And Jarvan being locked in on the side of Reborn Gaming wants some more of that pick potential. It's a lot of lockdown CC, a lot of access to the backline that Reborn Gaming has drafted for themselves. But No Name Necessary does have a lot of protection to deal with it. With the Braum, Ezreal being a safe AD carry, can jump right out of that Jarvan ult. Braum able to block a lot of damage from Caitlyn, and then Skarner has a lot of CC himself and is pretty tanky. We see Renekton banned away from Reborn Gaming. More of those skirmishing, top laners that can really just solo carry. They definitely want their power to be packed into the bot lane. Don't want a lot of, threat coming out of the top lane. No, Jihoon Kim is very good on these aggressive champions, can take over these games. Karma banned away from the side of No Name Necessary. Gonna start pinching that mid roll. Karma has started to abuse those late game scaling ability power items that we were talking about earlier, and she's started to become more dominant in the mid lane. Lots of safety, lots of outplay potential, and she hits like a truck when she gets a couple of AP items on her. And we see that Rise band away as well. Also very strong in the mid lane once he gets a couple items on him. Gets his Archangel Staff, Rod of Ages stacked up. Another champion with a lot of outplay potential, shields, speed ups, lockdowns, lots of damage. Can also make crazy plays with his ultimate. And we see the Swain banned away from Prayer. We won't get to see Swain in this game. Prayer has been playing it quite a bit lately in solo queue. A lot of fans were kind of hyped up to see him play at this game, but No Name Necessary does not want to deal with that Swain coming out of the top laner from Reborn Gaming. They know how strong he can be up in that top lane if he does get ahead, and Swain is definitely in a very good spot right now, to say the least. Vel'Koz picked up for the mid lane for Wombat. We'll now see what the mid and top lane for No Name Necessary, what they want to draft to go with their composition. Myron does pick up the Victor for Pectus. Victor, very strong control mage. Can take over team fights with his ultimate, with his AoE, CC AoE damage, and Maokai for Jihoon in the top lane, that beefy frontline tank. They have so much protection for this Ezreal and this Victor with the Braum, with the Skarner, with the Maokai, as well as lots of pick potential. The Braum ultimate, Skarner being able to run in and pull out one of those carries. Maokai with the twisted advances, the ultimates. Cho'Gath being hovered. Cho'Gath very good at dealing with the Maokai in the top lane. Has that percentage max health damage, as well as serving as a front line for his team. Cho'Gath and Jarvan could technically be swapped around a little bit, but I expect Jarvan to be in the jungle with Cho'Gath in the top lane. So we see Reborn Gaming has a lot of pick potential on their team. have a lot of engage with the Jarvan and the Cho'Gath, as well as the Caitlyn and Vel'Koz that can just constantly fire from the back line, and a Janna sitting on top of them, keeping them safe with the shields, with the tornadoes, with her ultimate. Reborn Gaming, much more front to back, has the Maokai, the Braum, the Skarner sitting in that front line with that Ezreal, with that Victor, just constantly poking from behind. So both teams definitely have a strong team fight. So it's going to be a bloody one. It's going to come down to a lot of execution, who can get out on the map earlier. Skarner and Jarvan really good at pulling off these early level ganks to get their teams ahead. So we'll see who is able to get out on the map faster. Skarner does have a little bit of a quicker wave clear with his crystals, but Jarvan known for his such strong early ganks. A lot of damage coming out of Jarvan, especially if he does take Domination Tree.
Now, you were just running away with that draft there, so honestly was more than happy to just let you kind of snake our way through that. But one question posed in Twitch chat from Vitalis was, what bot lane do you think beats a Caitlyn lane? And a couple of possibilities posed by Long Brusher in chat were Jinx and Sona and Twitch and Soraka. What are your thoughts on those, and possibly maybe a couple other lanes that you think could deal with that just strong sieging in long range?
Yeah, so I think Jinx is definitely probably my favorite matchup into Caitlyn. She has really good wave clear and range with her rockets. She's able to stay safe. Twitch is a little bit of a riskier pick in lane. He has a bit of a shorter range and can be punished by the Caitlyn, especially when he's going for CS. That one comes down a little bit more to skill, how you're able to maneuver around that lane. But with that Soraka, that would definitely help a little bit. Honestly, though, not a whole lot of things kind of smash Caitlyn in lane. She is a very good early game laner, and she starts to fall off in the mid game. So anything like the Jinx, Varus does really good into her as well. He has a lot of range to kind of stay safe. So anything with enough range to stay safe, or on the flip side, you could technically go for something hyper aggressive, something like a Lucian, like a Draven, and just try to, in the first few levels, completely smash her and just put her way behind, and then she loses a lot of that siege power. But that can very easily backfire on you with those low range champions. But Caitlyn is probably one of the strongest early game laners. So I would definitely say that the Jinx and the Sona would be a good pick. Twitch, I suppose, could work if you have that Soraka with him, but I would say, as far as AD carries go, Jinx and Varus would be my two to really hold their own against Caitlyn in lane. And then as far as supports, Braum is probably the best Caitlyn counter. He can block a lot of her damage, her Q, her ultimate. He can just stand on traps and shield. Sivir, now that I think about it, Sivir is also really good against Caitlyn. She has her long range with her boomerangs. She can just sit back and kind of auto attack the minion in the front, and she just clears the entire wave, as well as her spell shield to walk over those traps without proccing them. But we are through our spectator delay now, getting into the game. We will see how that Ezreal and that Braum is able to match up against the Caitlyn and the Janna. Both teams have a lot of protections for their AD carries, so we're definitely going to be seeing them with a lot of weight on their shoulders, having to put on a lot of work in these games.
I do want to open it up to the chat now as we do get into the load screen for this first game, and let you know that we do have a poll actually currently open in Twitch chat. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on who will take this first game of the series. To vote in that poll, just type !NNN win or !RBG win to submit your votes for who you think will take this first game, and we'll check out the results of that poll a little ways into the early game. Just want to hear y'all's initial thoughts here. I know the polls on ABLseries.com had this one pretty close, and I would fairly agree after this draft, so we'll just have to see what y'all have to say. And don't worry if you guys don't always get the message from Moobot after your message. It only sends it every few times. But as we get into the first game here. Both of these teams looking to kind of stay in the top half of this playoff picture right now, and a win would certainly solidify both of these teams a little more safely in that playoff picture.
Yeah, these teams have done such a good job at drafting compositions. They're, even after the draft, I don't think I can really pick a clear winner. I think Reborn Gaming definitely has a lot of early game potential these first couple levels if Jarvan is able to get out on the map and pressure these lanes, especially bot lane. A Jarvan with a Caitlyn is really dangerous to be around, and Ezreal, until he gets his arcane shift, is a little bit vulnerable. So if Jarvan can get down there and create a lead for Pixel Dreams on this Caitlyn, it could be good for him. Top lane, I don't expect a whole lot of action. Cho'Gath and Maokai, two tanks, slapping each other around for the first half an hour. But in the middle game, I think is really where N3 is going to shine. They have this Ezreal that should be able to create a lead with himself with the Kleptomancy. You can already see the wonderful fights in the top lane, exciting back and forth action. But in the middle game with Ezreal, able to utilize the gold lead he will create with Kleptomancy, as well as Victor once he gets his core items, does hit a really good power spike. So I think the mid game will be N3's time to shine. But as the game goes later, I would have to favor the Caitlyn and the Vel'Koz just a little bit more. But it's really just going to come down to execution and who can play these fights better, who is able to get a better engage. Both teams have so much tools available for them. We see both junglers starting on the bot side. Might see some action top. Cho'Gath is hanging back a little to throw some confusion at No Name Necessary. They don't specifically know, where the jungler started, where Jarvan has started, because both lanes, top and bot, did come to lane a little late. Good play by them. We see Pixel Dreams and Myron Bra stay on the lane so far. Neither team has a push. Cho'Gath and Maokai just slapping each other around. And we see Buster Toast on this. Skarner did go straight from red buff to Wolves, so he is going to be on his top side a little faster. Jarvan took a 3 camp clear. Although he did hit his level 3 power spike, we'll see if he is able to use that early level 3 to get anything. Both junglers hovering around the mid lane. Looks like they're going to meet up with each other. Jarvan almost actually taken down by that Skarner. Didn't get to see the scuffle in the mid lane, but I'm assuming Skarner on his crystal able to put down a lot of damage. Force Jarvan to flash away.
Yeah, you talk about, you mentioned the Ezreal's ability to build a gold lead with the Kleptomancy and just his ability to poke from pretty considerable range. I would say the big thing for No Name Necessary in this laning phase will be whether or not Hunter is able to get down here and put some pressure on the Ezreal Braum lane. If Pixel Dreams is just forced to play the 2v2, it's not going to be bad, but you're going to be hard-pressed to take down the Ezreal, especially because you have a support that doesn't necessarily provide a lot of kill pressure in itself in the Janna. So if Myron is able to just safely lane here, he should be able to build a pretty considerable lead. So I think it's definitely going to be on the Reborn jungler to affect this bottom lane as best he can. Forced to retreat out of his jungle by an aggressive Buster Toast there. Wombat has come to help. Prayer is here as well. Jihoon Kim could be caught. Flag and Drag should be available. There's the poke coming out. Jihoon going very low, and that's going to be first blood to Wombat. They could try and chase down Buster Toast. Instead, they'll just back away as Pectus had arrived, but still an early kill over to the Reborn mid laner. It's going to feel pretty darn good for Wombat on this Vel'Koz.
Yeah, a little bit of overconfidence there by the top half of No Name Necessary, that it all started with that level 3 meetup between Skarner and Jarvan. Skarner was able to, really chunk out the Jarvan, and that gave him the confidence to move up and steal away the Krugs, and then also try to go for the red buff steal as well. But by that time, Jarvan was able to get back into his jungle, call down some help, and able to turn that around. So right idea there by Skarner, getting ahead, his faster clear allowed him to get some counter jungling done, but maybe just bit off a little bit more than he could chew with that red buff attempt. We see both junglers now hovering down towards the bot side, gonna meet up again over the Rift Scuttler.
Yeah, problem here is Bustertoast does not have control of his shrine, so he is significantly weaker in combat, and he's actually going to go down as Pixel Dreams and Zinski do roam up to assist their jungler, and they'll secure that kill onto the Skarner. So misplay there by Bustertoast. Not having that shrine significantly hurting them in that fight.
Gonna net them the Ocean Drake too. Jarvan really good at taking these early Drakes with his attack speed, buff that he offers. And we just see Reborn Gaming, rotating faster on these plays. We saw Prayer and Wombat getting to the jungle fight a little faster than the top and mid of No Name Necessary, as well as the bot lane roaming up quicker to assist Jarvan when he was fighting Skarner down in the bot lane. So thanks to the exceptional map awareness that Reborn Gaming has had, and the faster roams that they're pulling out, able to net them 2 kills and 1,000 gold lead 6 minutes into the game. We see Victor starting to bully out Wombat. He is running a little low on mana, but neither of them really creating a huge lead for themselves. Wombat is sitting on the 1 kill that he got in the jungle.
Pectus gonna force him out with his ultimate, almost able to grab the kill. And Jihoon is gonna have to be careful in the top lane. Prayer has now hit level 6, so he has has access, I should say, to his ult. They're gonna duke it out here. This could be big trouble for Jihoon. One more auto attack should possibly put him in range, and that is it. The munch comes out for Prayer. He's gonna grab that stack onto the Maokai, and an early kill for that Cho'Gath. He's gonna be forced to back out here, but he should be able to get back to lane fairly quickly. I guess the question is, and Jihoon actually doesn't have teleport available, so he's going to have to walk back to lane as well.
Yeah, definitely, smart heads-up play by Prayer. Jihoon Kim recognizing the Cho'Gath ultimate a little bit too late. Didn't keep track of when Cho'Gath was going to hit 6 and pays the price for it. And we see in the mid lane, Wombat, even though he did get that first blood, hasn't actually gone back to base yet. Is just sitting in lane with under half HP, kind of being bullied out by this Victor. Is keeping up generally well in CS, but hasn't been able to utilize that first blood gold that he did pick up. You also see a quite even lane in the bot lane. Ezreal doing a very good job at farming these minions under the turret. This is one due to the trap, but pretty even lane for them, which is good for the Ezreal because it'll allow him to get to his early game spike, his mid game spike faster. But it's also not bad for the Caitlyn because the quicker she can get through her mid game, the better off Reborn Gaming is going to be. Ooh,
man, that poke from the No Name Necessary bot lane.
That Braum Q layered on top of that Ezreal Q. Looked there for a second like the Braum Q did almost half of Caitlyn's health.
Yeah.
I didn't see the Ezreal Q was snuck in there right behind it. Landed at the same time. Penguin wanting to abuse the level 6 lead he still has over the Janna. Bustertoast just saying hi to Prayer.
Yeah, not sure if they're going to want to dive him in the top lane. Bustertoast does have the ultimate available, and Jihoon can drop tower aggro, so it's certainly a possibility. There's going to be the flash ult. They're going to pull him over to the tri-brush. Prayer going fairly low here. He could be in big trouble. Hunter's probably going to be a little too late. Ooh, a missed ultimate by Jihoon, and looks like Hunter's just going to back away. His not able to help out his top laner, and Jihoon Kim will grab that kill onto Prayer in the 2v1. So good play by Buster Toast to get up to the top side and assist his top laner in that skirmish.
Yeah, it's, you look across the board, look at the CS differentials between these teams, and they're just so easy, or not easy, so even across the board, there is quite a bit of a discrepancy. Top lane, Prayer did just, miss out on a couple of waves because of that aggression from Buster Toast. But you look at the jungle, look at the mid and bot lanes, and it's just so even, just really small leads on either side. So it comes up to these junglers to really move around the map and create these leads for their teams, because laners on either side are doing exceptionally well.
Wombat forced the flash away there in the mid lane as the Skarner did show up, not wanting Buster Toast to get anywhere near him, so Wombat will just spend that flash just to get away. Pixel Dreams taking quite a bit of damage here. Myra does want to go in aggressively. They are going to proc the concussive blows and just back away afterwards, content with the positive trade there.
Yeah, we see Ezreal, he just got a couple bags of gold out of that trade, so you can just see the Kleptomancy coming at work. Already has a Sheen and his tier stacking. Got the magical footwear for those free boots. That's just more gold that he's able to put back into his items. Caitlyn is on her BF sword, so that is very nice for her to have in this laning phase.
Yeah, interestingly enough, Caitlyn does have that one kill, and they're essentially even in CS, but thanks to Kleptomancy, their gold is essentially even here. So all of that income for the Ezreal gonna feel pretty good, especially if he can possibly pick up a couple of kills here before the early game ends. It'll certainly make his life a lot easier, but Hunter has gotten down to the bottom lane, is gonna knock up ZGM Penguin, forced to flash away the heal from Ymira, going to keep him alive a little bit longer, but he's on the trap and is going to go down a kill to Pixel Dreams there. Ooh, good trap. He is going to catch Ymira. There's the ultimate, and down goes the Ezreal, the double kill to Pixel Dreams, and that's going to be a big lead for Reborn Gaming. We said that Ymira could be feeling pretty good about his income so far, but now a double kill over to the Caitlyn is going to open up an 800 gold lead for Pixel Dreams, and they're even going to be able to push this tier 1 tower.
Yeah, Pixel Dreams can be feeling pretty good about his income too right now. That was incredibly well played. The net into the trap, slowing down Ezreal enough, knowing where he's going to be, into the Q and ult, just played that perfectly. Ooh, Wombat almost taking down Hectus there.
Yeah,
but
does force out the flash from the no-name necessary mid laner.
Pixel Dreams, that's one for the highlight reel. Played that exceptionally well. Earned his gold there. And they looks like they will be able to take a second Ocean Drake.
So that double kill plus the first tower gold means 1,000 gold lead just for Pixel Dreams over Ymira.
That's definitely something that No Name Necessary is going to have to worry about, because Caitlyn falls off in the middle game right around when they get their power spike. So they want to keep her, in that mid-game state for as long as possible. But if they're, giving over these kills and allowing her to get this gold, they're just accelerating her pace throughout the game and getting her closer and closer to those later game items. I know it's only 13 minutes into the game, but if Caitlyn is just one step ahead of the pace, can definitely be worrisome for No Name Necessary, because Caitlyn in the late game can be just, an unstoppable force.
Yeah, the bigger that lead becomes coming out of the early game, it can essentially just help the Caitlyn kind of skip that plateau in her mid game. So they're definitely going to have to respect Pixel Dreams on that champion right now. Caitlyn's going to be very, very strong. And they have initiated the lane swap here. Hunter is guarding this tower on the bot side for the moment as Prayer is moving his way down here. But they have moved Pixel Dreams and Zinski up to the top side to try and siege this tower in the top lane.
Yeah, really smart move by them. Caitlyn exceptionally well at taking objectives like turrets, able to siege very well. So the faster, once you get a lead on her, you want to move her around the map.
Yeah, Buster Toast and Pectus have moved up to the top side, but good avoidance of this gank by Pixel Dreams. Oh, he's going to go for Pectus. He oversteps a little bit there, forced to use his heal as Pixel Dreams nearly takes him down. And now Hunter and Wombat have room down to the bond side. They do want to get a couple kills here. Umaira trapped to the Cataclysm. ZGM Penguin jumps in, but he's going to go down regardless. Wombat grabs that kill, the double kill, in fact, for the Reborn mid laner. And that's another great gank by Hunter on the bot side. And Umaira and Penguin continue to be punished. They will go down there. Buster Toast, now they're going to go for the dive on the top side, trying to get onto Pixel Dreams. There's the ult from the Skarner, but able to flash away. Pixel Dreams will stay just safe enough. Pectus going to have to be careful, stepping up close to the Caitlyn, able to avoid the laser there. And with the wave pretty much cleared out, Pectus and Jihyun will just have to back away. Their health bar is fairly low here, and Pixel Dreams not feeling too bad. Did have to spend both of his summoner spells in that gank, but still able to avoid the dive and preserve that tower. Not too bad for Reborn.
This is being played so well by Reborn Gaming. You see these, this Caitlyn, the Janna that they moved up in the top lane, trusting that with the safety of the Janna and trusting Pixel Dream's mechanical skill on the champion, knowing that, you know, if they send them up there, they're going to be safe. And it's the second that they see that Skarner and that Victor move up to the top lane, immediately send their own members to the bot lane to try to, you know, kind of flip the map. And Caitlyn and Janna are able to survive that gank. Janna doing so well, peeling off all of the enemies off of Caitlyn. Caitlyn juking out a lot of abilities herself. And just that safety that they have in the top lane allowed Reborn Gaming, you know, to safely send members down to the bottom lane and get kills on Ezreal and Braum. So
yeah, it's just good recognition there by Reborn, right? They know that that 3 members of No Name Necessary are on the top side, and that, you know, you have a Caitlyn and Janna who should be able to absorb a certain amount of pressure there. So with, you know, Umaira and Penguin being far enough behind, you should feel very good about that 3-man play there, and you've got the numbers advantage.
Yeah, so very well played by them. Great recognition there. And you can just see the trust that they have in their team, being able to, you know, a lot of teams, they see that their AD carry that is 3-0 is up in the top lane getting dove by 3 members. They immediately want to rush up there and help them. Reborn Gaming trusting their AD carries mechanics, trusting their supports mechanics, and capitalizing on that situation instead. So incredibly well played by them. Love to watch the macro of this team.
No Name Necessary is looking for the collapse in the mid lane, though. The ult onto Hunter. He's going to be able to escape there. The flag and drag after the Skarner ult will get him away. So good job again by Reborn dealing with the pressure from No Name Necessary. Prayer is going to eat quite a bit of damage here under the tower. CC chain coming out from No Name Necessary, but that Cho'Gath is so tanky. All that damage coming out, and they still only took him to half health. Pixel Dreams still on the top side, trying to bully Jihyun Kim out of this lane, getting as many headshots as he can onto the Maokai. Ooh, this could be big trouble. Jihyun forced to back away from the tower, and Pixel Dreams make it just the free push on the top side as Reborn just continues to absorb pressure in the mid lane.
And I like the idea that No Name Necessary has here. They tried to go up in the top lane to punish this Caitlyn. They see that didn't work out. And so instead they try to move their members into the mid lane, attack that mid lane turret, and try to draw the Caitlyn back into their team, get her out of that side wave. Unfortunately, there's a lot of wave clear available from the Cho'Gath, from the Vel'Koz, and so they aren't able to... They do get some damage onto that mid turret, but they aren't able to, you know, really threaten it as much as they would like. We do see Infernal coming up in a few seconds. Does draw that Caitlyn down. She has finished her rapid fire cannon as well as her Infinity Edge. So she is at her 2-item power spike.
Reborn looking to grab their 3rd Drake of the game here at just over 19 minutes. They're going to go full court press onto that and be able to take that down. Now they could definitely look for the fight. There's the Cataclysm forcing the flash out of Pectus, and Reborn can honestly just back away now. feeling confident that they were able to trade an ultimate for that summoner spell in the mid laner. And now they'll just move towards the mid lane. There's nobody for No Name Necessary there. They've rotated down to the bot side. And honestly, Pixel should be able to deal with this push. So this could be a big misplay by No Name Necessary. They may lose their mid tower.
Yeah, No Name Necessary realizes that they can't really fight that dragon, so they have to let that Infernal go and then decide to they see two members go for the mid lane, try to move down to the bot side.
Ooh, Pectus caught
man.
out. Spotted on the vision there by Reborn, and the collapse comes in quickly, and they'll take down the Victor, and now they'll return to this mid lane. Now they move Pixel Dreams up there to siege this tower. Jihoon was able to take down the tower in the top side, so that's an okay trade, but still this mid tower is going to be just so much more valuable for Reborn Gaming. They could look to siege the tier 2. Bustertos and DGM Penguin are still here. Oh man, the headshots, and Wombat is going to grab that kill. So much damage coming out from the Caitlyn. Bustertos honestly dead before he was even able to realize it.
Yeah, and Reborn Gaming are really just playing so well to their strengths right now. They know that their Caitlyn is ahead, know that she can't be dealt with, and know that she is so good at taking these objectives. And so when No Name Necessary, after that dragon, try to push down that bot lane turret, you see again their incredible macro play. They say, okay, we'll just send our Caitlyn down there. We know she's strong enough to deal with your push, and we'll send two of our own members to go take down that mid turret. And then as soon as that push is gone, they move the Caitlyn over to the mid lane where the push has already been started by their other two members, and just continue that push and able to siege down the turret, pick up a kill, and get that tier 2 mid turret. So this Caitlyn extremely far ahead right now, just finished her Berserker's Greaves, and Reborn Gaming know it, and they are playing so well around it.
Yeah, it looks like now just over 21 minutes into this game, Reborn may want to play around an early Baron buff. We've seen a lot more teams since patch 8.4 really heavily prioritizing Baron immediately after it spawns, and with the lead that Reborn has been able to build, it seems not uncalled for them to go for it. They are going to collapse on a Jihoon who presses up a little too far in the top lane without adequate vision. He is punished for it, so now it will be a 4v5 contest by No Name Necessary if Reborn does go for this Baron. Now, good job from Pectus here, pushing down the mid lane is actually going to force Reborn off of this Baron to possibly respond to the push in the mid lane. They're actually going to go topside, so Pectus should easily just return to the mid lane and continue to shove that lane. This could actually be a big misplay by Reborn. Good job from No Name Necessary, forcing decisions out of Reborn in this lead, and they actually may get punished for it. They are going to grab the turret on the top side, but they'll trade a tier 2 in the mid lane, and that's definitely a positive trade for No Name Necessary. They open up that map a little bit more.
Yeah, a little bit of a misstep by Reborn Gaming there. A little too focused on the Baron. Might not have noticed that the Victor, with that incredible wave clear that he has, is able to push so quickly, is able to get onto that mid turret and take him down. And I'm not sure if they were comfortable kind of, forcing it all in there, because Ezreal did poke Janna down quite a bit during that little, scuffle around Baron. But really, really smart moves by Pectus to push down that turret. And we just see both teams, really doing their best. We haven't seen a whole lot of, team fights in this game, but we've really got to, these teams can really show off their macro play here and the strategies that they're able to come up with. It's really impressive to see what they can do with around the map with the leads that they've created for themselves. We see now Baron, obviously the next priority, setting up vision around there. Both tanks are in the bot lane, slapping each other around again. Not much going to get done down here.
They do both have teleport available, so they can join their teams if they decide to. They also both have the ability to cancel teleports, so they'll definitely have to play safe if they do want to complete those summoner spell channels. Reborn continuing to posture around this Baron, not happy enough to go and grab it as of yet, but they'll just continue to try and push some lanes.
These tanks, the never doing more than about like 5% of each other's max health before they both sustain it right back up. We do see some scuttle, some more aggressive plays around the Baron place. These top laners might be looking to try to set up.
We're going to get a fight here in the jungle. The ultimate onto the Caitlyn, and actually Pixel Dreams is going to get shut down. This could be big trouble for Reborn Gaming. Now they're trying to collapse on Hunter. He's retreating as quickly as possible. The flag and drag away may get him to safety. Yumairumbra trying to chase him down. Oh, what an ultimate from Wombat. He absolutely shreds through Yumairumbra. The Ezreal is dead. Low health bars for the rest of the team, and No Name Necessary forced to retreat as they step a little too far forward and eat a big laser from the Vel'Koz right in the face.
Yeah, we see the pick potential of the draft that No Name Necessary has put together with the Skarner, with the Maokai, with the Braum. So they are able to find that Caitlyn and pick her off, and that gives them the confidence to push more aggressively into the Baron. But Caitlyn isn't the only one that's fed. We have a 7-0 Vel'Koz. Wombat has been doing exceptionally well, has really incredible farm, has a Luden's Echo and a Leandri's Torment completed. And so Wombat, no joke on the damage he is putting out. Caught No Name Necessary by surprise walking through the jungle. That's Vel'Koz is very easily able to set up, those true damage procs and just melts the team of No Name Necessary.
Yeah, it also helps that they had all kind of funneled into the jungle there right by blue buff, so they didn't have very many options to escape from that ultimate, and Wombat just fires away.
No, they did not. They're gonna have to be careful about fighting in those enclosed spaces with the Jarvan. Shogath has those big AoE CC abilities, and Janna able to fill up those small spaces with her tornadoes. Both top laners 2 minutes later still at full health. Exciting
each other back and forth.
Exciting League of Legends gameplay, right? By 40 minutes we might see one of them below half health. But the rest of the teams still kind of dancing around Baron, fighting for vision control.
The concerning thing here is that Reborn Gaming was able to build a pretty significant lead, and they still have that lead, about 5,000 gold. But this lack of proactivity is going to be great for No Name Necessary, as they can slowly close that gold gap here in the mid game. So the longer that they're able to just keep Reborn Gaming stalling and not taking any significant objectives is just going to be great for No Name Necessary as they look to scale up. Now, the late game for Reborn is no slouch, but still being able to close this gold gap is going to be very good for the blue side.
Yeah, we can see, we talked about earlier, the mismatch of the power spikes in these teams. This Ezreal, this Victor, starting to get their big items, are hitting their power spikes, while Caitlyn, Vel'Koz, although they are really good early game, they sort of fall off there.
One thing to note: double rapid fire cannon for Pixel Dreams didn't go for a different Zeal item. Instead, doubles down on the rapid fire cannon.
Yeah, just really wants that range. Wants to be able to auto attack from really far away. Definitely, I would hope that's a mistake there. Pixel Dreams, hopefully we'll see that soon.
And that
after this Baron,
that range won't stack, so it honestly seems
no,
like
it won't. Yeah, no, the passives are unique and they will not stack. Pixel Dreams, I'm sure he knows this. Must have just been an accidental buy. Static Shiv and Rapid Fire Cannon do build out of the exact same items, so might have just bought the wrong Zeal item there, assuming he will notice that soon. We do see the Ardent Sensor now coming out of the Janna. Just another opportunity or just another way Caitlyn is going to eventually outscale that Ezreal. As we were talking before, Ezreal now has his Iceborne Gauntlet, has his fully stacked Mirror Mana. Ezreal is hitting his power spikes, while Caitlyn is kind of in her mid-game slump right now. So the mismatched power spikes from these teams has allowed No Name Necessary to sort of buy themselves some breathing room, catch up a little bit. But you know, they've got to be careful. They really need to take this time and try to be as proactive as possible, because if they wait too long, they might miss their shot, and Pixel Dreams will, you know, eventually buy more rapid fire cannons. Once he gets all his rapid fire cannons, he can just sit in base and auto attack them. No, but once Caitlyn does get to these 6 items, once this Vel'Koz gets to these 6 items, it's gonna be really hard to deal with. The Shogath has a lot of health built to him, but as of right now, doesn't have a whole lot of resistances. But once he is able to get those resistances, will be insanely hard to kill. So No Name Necessary really needs to be proactive during this moment. They do end up giving over the Baron, which is very troublesome. It just kind of accelerates the pace, which is exactly what Reborn Gaming wants here.
Yeah, this could be their ticket to kind of breaking this stalemate that we've had for the past 5 to 8 minutes here. Grabbing that Baron buff is going to just empower the already strong siege that they do have now, and it's just going to make it more difficult for No Name Necessary to wave clear. They still do have solid wave clear, but these Baroned up minions are just that much more difficult to deal with. So Reborn is going to look to pick the tower that they want, set up the trap line for Pixel Dreams, and then go for a fight. Pixel Dreams a little scared of an engage there. Nets away from Jihoon Kim. Nakai did have flash available, so certainly could have gone for something. Penguin, who just jumping away from that CC, coming out of... Oh, and flashing away, stepping up a little too far. He could get punished here, but they are going to draw them into the fight. Good ultimate for Pectus is actually going to take Wombat very low. He's going to go down. Ooh, Pixel Dreams as well. That's 3 dead. The triple kill for Pectus. Could he go for the Penta? Hunter trying to run away. There's the Quadra for Pectus. Probably won't be the pentakill, but still, that's a good fight for No Name Necessary. ZGM Penguin actually able to draw Reborn Gaming into a fight favorable for No Name Necessary, and they'll take that one down. That's 4 Baron buffs away from the side of Reborn Gaming, and Prayer, the only one left alive.
Yeah, we see Reborn Gaming not respecting the mid-game power spikes that are coming through from No Name Necessary. Decide to fight in the jungle. Victor now has his Archangel staff completed. Looks like he has his Hex Core is now perfect, so that's a huge power spike for him, and he is able to just throw down his ultimate in that small jungle space and just demolish the backline of No Name Necessary, or of Reborn Gaming.
Yeah, I mean, Reborn stepped into such a small corridor there that, I mean, Pectus couldn't miss his laser or his ultimate.
If he tried.
Yeah, so they just made it so easy for him to just fire away on the entire team and just shred through that entire lineup. Pectus is definitely going to be wishing for more fights just like that one if No Name Necessary does want to win this game. Certainly still behind right now, but that one fight is certainly going to help them out a lot here.
Yeah, and Pectus is able to go back to base and buy that Lich Bane now, complete his Sheen item, and you know, it's really good that Pectus was able to pick up all those kills, because he is sort of the way into the late game for No Name Necessary. They have that triple front line, but Ezreal does fall off quite a bit compared to the Caitlyn in the late game. But Victor can be an absolute monster and can take over games on his own, especially if he's able to find the right fights like he did there. So Pectus definitely going to be looking to him in these later stages of the game to, take charge in these fights and really be the threat.
Now, one thing to note here, Pixel Dreams did finally swap out that second rapid fire cannon for the Static Shiv, and has also grabbed a Last Whisper. So, gonna make it a little bit easier for the Caitlyn to get through these tanks of No Name Necessary. But I would say that Static Shiv and Last Whisper, I would imagine Pixel Dreams was probably sitting on a significant amount of gold when that fight happened. So, Reborn.
Yeah, I'm sure. And I think he actually went back to base once more in between there without realizing his rapid fire, because he purchased that. I'm pretty sure he purchased that Last Whisper before that fight, so he was sitting on the 2 rapid fire cannons and the Last Whisper. But after the fight, looks at his items, finally realizes
Ooh, No Name Necessary does want to fight. They're going to force Pixel Dreams to flash away, but he's still alive and firing away. Ooh, Wombat's going to go down. However, Jihoon able to grab that kill. Cataclysm onto Pectus is going to keep him away from the back line for a little while, but it is going to cost the Jarvan his life. It's another kill for Pectus. Now, Reborn may have stayed a little too long. Prayer forced to flash away, but the concussive bullets is still going to be activated, but he is able to take down Penguin. Now Jihoon Kim trying to chase down the Caitlyn. Pixel Dreams does have to be careful. Yubaimabra is still very, very healthy, and so is Pectus. And they're just going to have to back away with only the bot lane of Reborn left alive. No Name Necessary still very much part of this game, though. Now be able to push down the mid lane. Do they go for the top side? They do have a big minion wave up there. Seems like they'll let it push on its own and try and deal with the Caitlyn here in the mid lane. The trap line has been set up a little bit. They'll just rotate to the top side instead, recognizing that Pixel Dreams wasn't able to set that up. But coming out from Pectus, he's going to have to be careful. That Caitlyn certainly can fire over the wall. The tier 2 goes down on the top side, so a good response from No Name Necessary as they win another fight here, and Reborn is going to have to figure out what's going wrong in these fights and fix it before No Name Necessary is able to pull this game into their favor.
Yeah, Reborn Gaming, just, again, a little bit of disrespect. Didn't really learn their lesson in the jungle. That this Victor is extremely strong right now, and they push up all the way to the enemy turret. They are able to get a lot of damage on that inhibitor turret, but you know, they're just kind of a little too far up, not respecting the power spikes that have come out from No Name Necessary, while they still have yet to get their 6 items on their own carries. Vel'Koz only on 3, just finished his Zhonya's. Caitlyn now has her Lord Dominic's regards, so one more item and she will be at her late game stage. Ooh, Zinsky having to flash there.
Steps up a little too far and gets caught without vision of No Name Necessary, and yeah, forced to flash into that red camp.
But for the next few minutes, Reborn Gaming really has to be careful, because you know, I feel like at this point they really need their 6 item late game before they can just, you know, walk in and roll over No Name Necessary like they were in the early game.
Looks like No Name Necessary may want to go for a fight. Buster Toast just running at the team is going to be forced away. Reborn being patient, not willing to engage as of yet. Baron is spawning right now, and No Name Necessary does have control over the pit.
There is one.
Into the Baron.
There is one ward in the back of the pit. I don't know if it's actually seen by control. They do have the control ward there now.
Baron is going very low. It's at about 3,000 health. It's going to go down, and that is Baron over to No Name Necessary. Good ultimate. The Nature's advance there from Jihoon Kim will make that secure that much easier, and that Baron buff going to go over to No Name Necessary, and they continue to make some good plays in this game, bring them very much back into this. We're at about 37.5 minutes here, and they're looking to possibly go for an Elder Drake here. They definitely can't let Reborn get this. A 4-stacked Elder Drake would be very, very big trouble for No Name Necessary, so they're going to have to contest this as Reborn does start to set up around it. Here's the big problem, though. Pixel Dreams is in the top lane, and No Name Necessary knows it. This is just a misplay by Reborn Gaming, as they're going to have to give up control of the Elder Dragon pit over to No Name Necessary. They're just going to see this. Pixel Dreams is backing to base, and they're just going to have to give this away. That, you know, this objective doesn't necessarily entirely empower No Name Necessary. They only have the 1 break, but still, the denial from Reborn is all that much worth it. Buster Toast now trying to chase that line up. He does flash and ult onto Prayer. Prayer's super tanky. Wombat's just firing away at the backline. That's a beautiful laser. Now Hunter has the backline trapped in the Cataclysm. The shutdown onto the Victor. This is a great fight for Reborn as Pixel Dreams has finally shown up. That's 4 for 0, and Yubaimabra, the only one left to defend the base.
Wow. Prayer absolutely just... They threw everything in the kitchen sink at that man, and he just didn't take any damage. You see that Cho'Gath with all that health,
he's sitting
activating the stone plate.
9 stacks plus everything he's built,
man.
and activating the Gargoyle stone plate. He was so unbelievably tanky.
And I definitely took No Name Necessary by surprise. Took me by surprise Really good play by them, recognizing that the Caitlyn was top lane, able to get that Elder Dragon, but they do only have one Drake, and so it might have overestimated the fighting power that they got from that Elder Drake a little too much. Gave them some false security there. Definitely the right play to keep it away from Reborn Gaming, but maybe just back off afterwards and not, charge into a jungle that they have no vision in against the 9-2 Wombat, the Fed Caitlyn AD carry, and the so tanky Cho'Gath. Oh man, I think that the Cho'Gath more than anything probably took them by surprise. Probably thought it was a really nice pick, but Prayer just throwing on that stone plate, able to soak so much damage, allowing his team to counter engage. And so we are starting to see the late game power that's coming out of Reborn Gaming. Caitlyn, I'm assuming she can pretty soon finish her 6th item. She should be sitting on a lot of gold. But we see, Vel'Koz coming up on his 6th item. Cho'Gath, 5 items. Most of the members on Reborn Gaming are at 5 items. Should be coming up on 6 very soon. And so Cho'Gath is getting extremely tanky. Vel'Koz shredding through these tanks on the side of No Name Necessary with all the true damage that he has. Jarvan is going to be getting exceptionally tanky. We see now Caitlyn did finish that Mauve. Melitaris wants to survive that burst out of that Victor, so she is now at 6 items. But we're starting to get, to that super late game point where No Name Necessary has to be very careful about the fights that they choose.
Yeah, Reborn is looking to push the top side. They have all 5 members up here. Jihoon Kim is in the bottom lane trying to deal with some pushing minion waves. He has teleport available so he can join No Name Necessary as soon as he decides. They're going to just try and clear out these waves as best they can. Pixel Dreams continuing to fire away on the front line. Doesn't matter what target he hits, just any damage he can get out is acceptable.
At any hit target he hits with the Lord Dominic's and all the crit that he has, you see even getting these pot shots off on Braum is chunking him out. And Braum without that Warmogs, actually I don't think there's any Warmogs on the side of No Name Necessary with on any of the 3 tanks they had, so any of that damage that Caitlyn is able to get out, not going to be able to be regened back up. Well, on the contrary, on the other side, you see both Cho'Gath and Jarvan both have Warmogs, so even if Victor Ezreal is able to, get any damage onto them, all they have to do is back up a little bit. They're going to heal that right up. So smart build paths from Reborn Gaming, playing to their sieging strengths, knowing that there is a lot of poke coming out from No Name Necessary, and that if they want to siege, they're going to have that sustain.
Yeah, they're going to look for this top lane inhibitor tower here. They continue to throw out as much poke as possible onto No Name Necessary as they continue to look for the push. Minion Wave will be here just momentarily. No Name Necessary doing everything that they can to discourage Reborn from pushing this top lane, but with minions flooding into the base from the bot side, doesn't seem like there's much they can do. The minion wave has arrived. The trap line is set up, so the engage from No Name Necessary would be very difficult. Here comes the ultimate from Jihoon Kim. It's going to largely miss Reborn. They're going to try and engage onto the tank line, but it's not enough as Wombat is able to just delete Buster Toast there. The Skarner is dead, and now it's going to be a 4v5 defense of the base.
Yeah, No Name Necessary, recognizing that they have super minions flooding into the base on the bottom side. They know they can't just sit here forever. All the minions will end up taking their base. So they decide to try to throw down and engage.
And there's the ultimate from Wombat. He's going to absolutely shred through a couple of tanks. Pectus trying to retreat as fast as he can. He is going to stay alive, but the inhibitor is going to go down. And this should be the game for Reborn. They're going to move their way on to the Nexus Towers. Triple waves spilling into the No Name Necessary base. Down go the Nexus Towers, and down goes the Nexus. That's going to be game. Reborn Gaming able to take this first one away from No Name Necessary.
Yeah, Reborn Gaming, exceptional game there. They used their objective control so well. They take the bottom lane inhibitor and then move all of their members. They know they have such a great siege comp with the Caitlyn and with the Vel'Koz, and so they just sit in that top lane until the super minions start pouring into the bottom lane, and they know that No Name Necessary are going to have to make a choice, and they're able to win that fight front to back, and just exceptional. I'm so impressed by the macro play that came out from Reborn Gaming today in this first game.
Yeah, I would have to say, the only misstep was kind of those early plays around Baron, allowing No Name Necessary to get essentially a free push in mid lane, and then, taking a couple fights that they couldn't win. Good, definitely credit to No Name Necessary for grabbing those fight victories. It definitely got them back into this game, but, for the most part, Reborn just controlled the pace in this first game, and was able to carry that macro play into a victory. I got to ask you for your MVP for this first game. I know my selection, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts on the matter.
I'm definitely going to give it to Pixel Dreams. I think honestly, I think all of Reborn Gaming as a team should get the MVP because they just worked so well together to move around the map. But Caitlyn was really the catalyst that they did it through. Getting her, once they got her the kills in the bottom lane, they were able to take that bottom lane turret, swaps her up to the top lane. She absorbed so much pressure up there, which allowed the the jungler and the mid laner to just come down and just pressure the bottom lane, get those kills. And so while Reborn Gaming did work exceptionally well as a team, they did it through Pixel Dreams on that Caitlyn. So I got to give my MVP vote over to him.
All right, certainly an impressive game across the board for the side of Reborn Gaming as they do grab a victory here to start off this series, and we will move into game number 2 here momentarily, looking to get this one set up. Thank you so much for everyone for joining us tonight. We appreciate all of y'all's support. Remember to come out and watch us every Monday and Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Other ways to support us are through following and subscribing. Those buttons are at the top of your screen, and you can get some cool emotes if you do decide to subscribe. You can also support us through donations. That link is in the description. And for any news, schedule stats, everything else you need for the ABL series, it will be over at ablseries.com. That link in the description as well. Just trying to get all of the players into the lobby here for game number 2. Looks like we will have Reborn Gaming swapping over to the blue side for this second part of the series. And actually, Caitlyn bot playing for the side of No Name Necessary. That's probably a smart strategy, taking that one away from Pixel Dreams.
Absolutely. It's pro strats there. They know. I don't know. Maybe
an LCS level bot, because otherwise they might be in trouble.
But will the Caitlyn bot build double rapid fire? That's the question. Does she know that strategy yet?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it works. I mean, the double rapid
it worked.
fire
You won
build,
the game.
At least with it being bought at some point in the game, does have a 100% win rate in the ABL series. So
it does. Double rapid fire, new meta, brought to you by Pixel Dreams. So it'll be interesting to see. Always exciting to see the pick and ban phase for the second and possibly third games in these series, as teams learn to adapt to their opponents. Have seen what they prioritize, what they like in this current meta, and so I'm definitely excited for this game 2 draft phase, seeing if they will take away the Caitlyn, if they decide to pick it over for themselves, if they, what kind of composition. Will Reborn Gaming go back for that siege composition that worked so well for them? It was really allowed them to show off their macro, or will they switch it up? And if they do decide to stay with the, this composition, does No Name Necessary, now that they have seen it, do they have an answer for it? So it's going to be a lot of variables, a lot of things to look at in this second game. I definitely think this is where No Name Necessary can prove themselves as a top tier team. Kind of caught off guard by the composition that Reborn Gaming has put together, but now they can show how well that they can adapt, and they can show that they, do belong up on the top. So we'll see once we get into Champ Select what they decide to do here.
Going to be interesting to see what kind of adjustments we do get in draft. We could possibly see a Caitlyn ban, or even Wombat possibly drawing a ban on the Vel'Koz. He did the most damage in that last game, if I remember correctly. I think 42,000 damage on the Vel'Koz. So I would be surprised if No Name Necessary was willing to give that champion over to the Reborn Gaming mid laner one more time. But I guess we'll just have to see how this one shakes out. You're almost ready to get into draft for the second game.
And it was also interesting looking at the damage graphs. The carries from No Name Necessary actually weren't that far behind the carries from Reborn Gaming. They might have been 5,000 to 10,000 damage difference, but in that situation, it's really surprising that they were still able to put out so much damage, and it just goes to show how well Reborn Gaming macroed in that game. Even though they weren't fighting a lot, even though their carries weren't putting out like twice the damage of No Name Necessary, they were still able to focus more on the objectives and win through that way. So especially in this recent meta, it's been fight. It's really impressive to see how well Reborn Gaming plays as a team. And we'll see if they're able to carry that over into the second game. Close out this series 2-0, or if No Name Necessary is going to bring us to a game 3. I would expect this second one to be definitely intense. No Name Necessary. Everybody, as you said before, this is such a closely contested game. Both these teams are incredibly skilled, very closely matched, and even the fans had a hard time picking a winner. So with our backs up against the wall, I expect No Name Necessary to bring out something extra to really push this game over the edge, take it to game 3, because they're not done by any means.
I would like to see something real spicy.
Real spicy? How
game.
spicy?
Maybe like and I think it's pronounced Kaisa?
Kaisa, yeah, the new AD carry. I've been playing her a lot.
And she seems to be able to play in quite a few different lanes. At least I've seen her in multiple different lanes, like jungle, mid lane, and AD carry.
Yeah, Kaisa is a really unique AD carry. All of her abilities have scale off AD and AP, and then you can actually upgrade her abilities based on how, like, if you build a certain amount of attack damage, you'll upgrade one ability, certain amount of ability power another, and then attack speed in a third. So a lot of versatility coming out of that champion.
By the way, I love the fact that like Riot made that concerted effort like a year or two ago, where they went through and like just took away all those like little random like AP scalings on champions, like Misfortune and Tristana. And they said that, and then they went, yeah, okay, so we're gonna literally build an entire champion based around that concept that we got rid of. Like, oh, you don't like Tristana being able to build all AP and just delete people? Well, we're gonna make a champion that can maybe do that.
I remember those days. It was right as I started playing AD carry, and I remember an AP Tristana mid, and I look up, I have a decent laning phase, I look up, there's a 16-0 Tristana, and she just jumps on me, and I disappear.
Yeah, jumps on you and hits you with a buster shot, and it's just bye-bye.
Hopping around the map like an Easter bunny, just deleting people. That was so much fun. But yeah, it's interesting, Kaisa, such a diverse champion. Riot removing all of that diversity, really, trying to get these champions in the role they want, and they give us Kaisa. So But we are into the picks and bans for Game 2, so we'll see if Yeso does get his wish. If anybody decides to pick up Kaisa.
It didn't show up anywhere in draft for Game 1, if I remember correctly. I didn't see any bans.
No, it didn't. Wasn't
obviously no picks
or bans. She did just come out in this last patch, so teams may be a little bit hesitant to bring her out. Might not be as experienced on them. No name necessary, banning away that Xayah. Smart ban. Don't want to give that over, especially to Pixel Dreams. He loves that champion. We'll see if we have any more focus on AD carries. There wasn't a whole lot of AD carry bans coming out in the last one. I remember the Xayah was banned away, but Talia again banned away from Reborn Gaming. I believe bans so far are the same for them from Game 1 to Game 2. There's the Caitlyn. I expected that to come out. Caitlyn taken away from Pixel Dreams might force Reborn Gaming to switch up their composition a little bit. Caitlyn is, was the cornerstone of the Siege comp that they put together. So we'll see if they are able to pull off that composition one more time, or more likely, I would expect them to bring something new to the table. Azir also banned away, taking away a lot of these, these champions that can control team fights. Zac and Azir, really good at these, AoE 5-on-5s. The Janna also taken away from Zinski. It was a little too hard to deal with Pixel Dreams with the Janna constantly shielding him, healing him with the ultimate. So all bot lane focused bans coming out from no name necessary. We'll see. Didn't take away the Varus though.
That's honestly not surprised by that. You throw the bans at both Xayah and Caitlyn, and Reborn has first pick, and they just grab the Varus, another strong AD carry. Now the Tristana is still available, and still, not a slouch in the bottom lane. Obviously, you mentioned a couple nerfs thrown her way on the last patch, but still a strong champion that no name necessary could look for. They are going to hover the Ashe here and actually grab that for you, Myronbra. An interesting pick that we haven't really seen in a while. Curious to see how that one does shake out for no name necessary, but the Lulu is still available. You mentioned that Janna ban does certainly hurt Pixel Dreams and Zinski, but they could still grab the Lulu to pair with the Varus.
Yeah, Lulu and Varus is definitely an insanely high damage lane. Just the on-hit damage with Varus' W and Lulu, especially once Varus does get that Rage Blade. Ashe, though, is very good at, kind of holding her own in lane. She's a very good 1v1 champion, too. If Varus does get too close, she can always just throw out the W, slow him down a little bit, has enough range to deal with him. So I don't expect that to be a bad matchup for Myronbra at all. The Morgana, though, nice pick out of Zinski. Able to keep that Varus moving around, kiting. The Olaf, now Olaf, I think got some incredible buffs in the last patch. He got a lot of damage buffs. I don't know the specific numbers, but I think his Q was buffed as well as his base damage. And Olaf is one that can just press the ult and just run straight at that Varus, and nothing can save him. No Janna, no Morgana in the world is going to stop an Olaf. So I like that pick out of Buster Toast, being able to have a way to deal with Pixel Dreams no matter how much defenses Reborn Gaming decides to stack on their team. Karma as well, really good, really safe laning phase pick, as well as putting out quite a bit of damage. So they built a bot lane for themselves that isn't going to get, demolished or I wouldn't say they were demolished. They built a very safe bot lane for themselves. Lots of range, lots of poke, lots of safety. And so they shouldn't be giving up any early towers or early kills this game.
I would say they weren't demolished until Hunter decided to show his face in the bot lane on the Jarvan the Fourth. So
yeah, after after the kills and the turret, they were definitely had a struggle. So, but once that Caitlyn becomes 3-0, it can be a little rough to deal with her. Vel'Koz taken away from Wombat, as well as Renekton taken out of that top lane. Renekton very strong, very much of a lane bully. Got some nice buffs patch or two ago. And so Reborn Gaming didn't mix it up, hasn't mixed it up too much so far with their picks and bans. We didn't get to see the Kaisa, as you asked for.
I'm expecting a Maokai here. With that Cho'Gath ban, I would honestly not be surprised for Jihoon to grab the Maokai again. Not sure if they want to grab it in this pick or wait for last pick, but I would be very surprised if they didn't go for the Maokai once more.
Yes, Maokai definitely, one of those premier tanks in the top lane. I'd be a little okay. So it will be a Karma mid. I'm a little surprised at that pick. I feel like they could have held that one to the end and picked up the Maokai for themselves, since there is no Cho'Gath to counter it. And I'm assuming Reborn Gaming would have assumed that Karma was going in the support role, and they didn't have to worry too much about being taken away because Zinski has the Morgana. But they do decide to pick up that Taric, and we'll see if Reborn Gaming, they might, hovering the Ornn, might take...
I like the Trundle pick here. If they go for the Trundle, that would discourage any sort of tank in the top lane, but they're actually going to go for the Ornn, and it's going to be the Warwick here, so looks like
we actually have the Olaf top. Okay. So, Olaf can definitely play in the top lane just fine. Has, a lot of damage, a lot of poke ability, especially with Comet and those axes. Ornn, though, definitely a very safe tank, has the mobility, has the shield. Can't become unstoppable during his shield anymore, but still able to stay in lane for quite a while, able to buy his own items, so that can be a tough lane for Olaf to bully. So I would assume Buster Toast on that Warwick would probably go up there and try to get that Olaf a lead with the safeness. The Ashe and the Taric, Taric does just as well of a job keeping his AD carry safe as a Karma, so I would expect that bot lane to be just fine on their own, which would free up Buster Toast to move up to the top side and try to pressure that Ornn, get that Olaf lead, because if Olaf can get ahead, that really puts the pressure on the carries of Reborn Gaming. So I like the draft out of No Name Necessary. They kind of played around with those flex picks with the Olaf, and they drafted a nice composition for themselves, safety for their carries. My only worry is that when it comes to late game, they don't have a whole lot going for them. Varus is going to outscale the Ashe eventually. Ryze will outscale the Karma. So if Buster Toast isn't able to get up into that top lane and get that Olaf ahead, they might struggle a little bit come late game, because if that Olaf just blows up in those team fights when he tries to go in for the carries, then they aren't really left with a whole lot of options. And on the side of Reborn Gaming, Ornn allows his entire team to have that extra item at the end, the upgrade, which increases their late game value. Sejuani and Ornn, incredible frontline tanks. Ryze and Varus, really good scaling, as well as the Morgana is very good at protecting all of this, protecting from all the CC that No Name Necessary has come out. So I'm definitely going to be looking at the early game for Buster Toast to be very proactive on this Warwick, getting his team ahead, because they're going to be playing on a clock this game. If they wait too long to get these leads, they run the risk of Reborn Gaming just outscaling them and winning these team fights. But we will see what they decide to do as we get into the game. We have about a minute left on our spectator delay. We'll see if Pixel Dreams is able to replicate the game that he had last time. Isn't on the Caitlyn this time, so we'll have to focus a little more, a little less on objectives, a little more on his fighting, positioning, all of that. Wombat on that Ryze will be a forced late game. And Sejuani, I just talked about Buster Toast needing to get out in the middle or in the early game to try to create leads, but Sejuani also no slouch in the very early levels, does a really good job at early level ganks, putting pressure on these more immobile laners, Ashe and a mobile AD carry. Karma a little safer, but it can definitely still be punished if she is up too far. So we're really going to be focusing on both junglers early game. Warwick should have a little bit of a faster clear than the Sejuani, although Sejuani can take her individual buffs quite quick. She's able to hit that level 3 power spike very fast with her E. But getting into game 2 of No Name Necessary versus Reborn Gaming. No Name Necessary needs to pull out a win here to keep their hopes of winning this series alive against their very closely competitive opponent in Reborn Gaming.
Yeah, we are into the load screen here for game number 2 after Reborn Gaming was able to take a victory in the first game and hold that 1-0 lead. Gonna have to see if No Name Necessary can force a deciding third game here, or if Reborn can grab the 2-0 sweep and move to a 5-1 match record.
Absolutely, and we get a look at the masteries now. We do see Karma and Rise both taking the Unsealed Spellbook. It's fallen off in popularity. You know, quite a few patches ago, they nerfed the cooldown that you do get from those on those summoner spells, but they will have the opportunity to both bring those ignites into lane that they can swap out for teleport later in the game. Beyond that, though, not a whole lot of surprises. Warwick taking that Predator, while Sejuani has the Aftershock. Grasp for both top laners, and Fleet Footwork for both AD carries, with Aerie for Morgana and Guardian for Taric. So no real surprises there. We see N3 moving out as a 5-man unit. Wombat will spot them.
Yeah, Zoob is going to love the trademark ABL 5-man invade, but No Name Necessary is just going to back away after they are spotted out. And looks like Reborn may try to get some vision on the blue buff of Buster Toast here. It's going to move up and drop a ward over there and actually won't be spotted. So good job by Reborn to get the information here and not give away any to No Name Necessary. So they will certainly have the advantage in that department.
Yeah, I don't believe No Name actually spotted any members of Reborn Gaming. I think Rise got out of there with the ward before he was seen. But No Name was spotted by the Rise and on that ward. They know that they were on the ward, able to get a few attacks off of them and not kill it. So nobody has a CS lead quite yet. But pretty standard starts for both junglers, starting on the bot side. Sejuani will be able to take down this buff extremely quick, but Warwick also very fast clear, so both junglers starting on the bot may see some collision top. We see Warwick is going to be starting with the blue buff into Wolves, probably then over to his red buff, as Sejuani just goes straight for...
Jihoon wants to trade aggressively on the top side. He could lose his life, flashes away, and that's going to feel really bad as Prairie is able to grab the kill there in the top side. I just hear... I could just see NA Flash being typed in chat of my solo queue games after that.
Jihoon a little shocked by the damage coming out of the there. Probably overestimated his damage a little bit. The lower on health that Olaf is, the more attack speed he gets. So that probably gave him a little bit of false sense of security. As low health as he was, probably thought he could survive with that extra attack speed. But Prayer just able to get a little more damage out there early. Has a lot of lockdown, has a lot of CC available to him. Really good at single target damage. Buster Toast is starting to roam up now. Was spotted on a ward.
Yeah, it's just gonna back away after recognizing that he was spotted out on some vision. Prayer's shop actually gonna be canceled there. Oh, in fact, it was not canceled soon enough, and that's gonna be another kill. Jihoon Kim just not respecting the damage coming out of Prayer's Ornn, and that's 2 solo kills for the Ornn to start off this game. Prayer is very much ahead, and Jihoon Kim is going to have to relax and compose himself in this lane, otherwise he's going to continue to get punished.
Yeah, and that second death is extremely unfortunate because now that Olaf teleport is on cooldown, so he's going to start missing these CS waves, which is really going to put him even further behind.
CGM Penguin forced the flash away on the bot side. He was trapped against the wall there and was fairly sure that Zinsky was going to throw out the Dark Binding and just respects the crowd control and just flashes away. So Reborn continuing to get leads across the map. They'll now have the Summoner Spell lead on the bottom side as well as the Golden Kill lead on the top side. Wombat and Pectus trading in the mid lane. Wombat has no mana left, so he's going to have to back away from Pectus here, but fairly even in the trade regardless. So otherwise, can't feel too bad about that.
Yeah, looking at CS, pretty even across the board. Olaf was able to get back, catch his wave, so he didn't fall too behind on CS. Did give over those 2 kills, though, and Ornn not having to go back to base to use that gold. Olaf again getting really low, has to be careful.
And that's another solo kill. Jihoon Kim he's got to get it together here. He is just not respecting the damage here, continuing to take these 1v1 fights, and Prayer is just so far ahead at this point that he's just going to continue to win them. Wombat actually able to get the shield, the flash, and kill for Wombat. And what? Hello?
Minions took him down.
Oh, man, that's going to feel bad. Pectus
shield wore off, and he was still pulling that minion aggro from casters. They were able to take him down just barely. Zinsky tagging Myron with that binding. But yeah, in the top lane, I mean, Jihoon, with the Olaf against the Ornn, you definitely need to get an early lead. And so Jihoon might be feeling a little bit flustered and, trying to, bring himself back. But at this point, Olaf already has his Glacial Shroud, already has a Doran Shield, already has some decent resistances. So even though Olaf does have those 2 longswords and the damage from his Corrupting Potion, Ornn is just already too tanky for him to deal with. And that's going to be very dangerous. Yeah, Prayer is level 6 already compared. Jihoon is still level 5. So for him to really get aggressive at any point in this game, he's going to need help from Buster Toast. See, Ornn just so good in these 1v1s, has a shield, has so much CC, has the knockback. So Olaf is just gotta be careful in these lanes. Can't give over any more advantages to this Ornn. Buster Toast.
They're going to take the fight again here. He's going to get knocked up by the Call of the Forge God. He's going fairly low. He's going to have to be careful. Going to get slowed. There's the charge. There's the knock-up. And 4 solo kills for Prayer in the top lane. Has securely won the laning phase here on the top side of the map for Reborn Gaming. They now hold their kill lead is entirely on the back of Prayer as they lead 5-1, and now about a 1,500 gold lead for Reborn. And that Ornn is extremely far ahead. The 4 kills now building that CS lead to about 13. Not that big, considering all the kills, but still plenty of gold in the favor of Prayer. Buster Toast has arrived on the bottom side, but Hunter is waiting in the brush for the lane gank, and Buster Toast could be in big trouble here. They're all going to collapse on the jungle, and he's going to go down. The Glacial Prison doesn't land on you, Myra, bro. The teleport from Prayer, looking for his 5th kill. The double kill to Pixel Dreams, and that's a huge lead for Reborn Gaming.
And really good, really good play by No Name or Reborn Gaming here, recognizing that, with the Olaf doing poorly in the top side that Buster Toast is probably going to be looking down bot. So they had Hunter on the Sejuani waiting there in the bushes for that counter gank. And then Prayer ready with that teleport down to the bottom lane, able to get Varus 2 kills. And so Prayer, using his lead that he's gotten in the top side, starts spreading that around. That's going to be first turret.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
First turret gold on that Varus after the double kill, just 8.5 minutes into the game. And Reborn Gaming already has a 3,000 gold lead.
Yeah, the Varus now sitting on 3,600 gold. He's going to be able to back and buy that Jinchu's right away here. So is able to skip kind of the power plateaus that it comes with in building the items, because it honestly feels bad to just piecemeal that Rage Blade together, but being able to back it and buy it all in one go is going to feel very, very good for the Varus here, as he will take a full Rage Blade in the lane against just a BF Sword Boots buy for you, Myra on the Ashe.
That's going to start feeling really bad for the side of No Name Necessary, because, you know, pre 10 minutes, they haven't had a chance to buy any resistances whatsoever, and Ginsun is so good at cutting through these high health targets. Varus is just going to start shredding through these members of No Name Necessary, and although Karma is 2-1 in the middle lane, Pectus doing a very good job for himself.
Could be in big trouble here, forced to activate the ultimate as the Dark Binding does land from Zinsky. Reborn has already initiated the lane swap here at 10 minutes. They're going to look to push down a second tower on the top side now. Prayer is in the middle lane. The arrow is going to land on the Wombat, and the Reborn mid laner actually is going to go down. Now Hunter is here as well. Prayer still very healthy after getting caught by that Warwick ultimate, so good play by No Name Necessary in the mid lane. They're going to look to possibly be aggressive on the top side. The Dark Banding lands from Zinsky there, and Pixel Dreams just able to back away. Not really worried about these stuns coming out from Penguin.
And good job by No Name Necessary bringing more members into the mid lane, recognizing that Pectus is 3-1, 20 CS up. Definitely their way back into the game right now. Very good. Gotta be careful here, though. Oh, able to get the solo kill.
Hunter
that one was
overestimating his
close.
damage there and not respecting the shields coming out from Pectus, and Pectus able to grab that kill in the 1v1 against the Reborn jungler. Now 4-1 on this Karma, feeling very good in the mid lane. So leads for the opposing solo laners in this game. Going to be interesting to see how these teams play around that.
Yeah, Pectus is definitely going to be their way back into this game, with the Olaf being so far behind. And as you know, I talked a little bit about in the draft phase that Reborn Gaming has a lot of scaling on their side. Ornn is going to become just tankier and tankier, as well as the Sejuani. Ryze scales extremely well into the late game, as well as Varus, you know, already on his Rage Blade, probably, you know, getting close to being able to get his wit's end already, I would assume. 30 CS up over his lane opponent, and so it's gonna be on Pectus to really start slowing down these enemies and keeping them from, you know, just getting to those power spikes too fast, and, you know, starting to make these plays and getting No Name Necessary back into the game. But it's looking very troublesome for them right now, with a 2,000 gold lead going over to the side Reborn Gaming already, while they also have all this scaling packed into their team. We do see a dragon spawning here. Will be an Ocean Drake. About 20 seconds.
Reborn respecting the engage from the Warwick, both flashing over the wall with the poke coming out of Pectus. It's very scary. The arrow did land from Umayyah brother as well, but No Name Necessary not able to entirely follow up on the crowd control, but still able to force 3 summoner spells, both the flashes out of the bottom lane as well as Pixel Dream's heal. It's going to make them very susceptible to subsequent ganks over the next 4 to 5 minutes here. Prayer and Jihoon going to continue to duel in the bottom side. Jihoon has to be careful with the ultimate available on Wombat. They can easily rotate to the bottom side. He's going to try and chase Prayer under the tower here. Does want to go for it. Flash away, and the tower shot will take down Jihoon Kim, now 0 and 5. And he has got to compose himself. He is continuing to play aggressively and continues to lose out in these, 1v1 fights. Seems like he has just lost his composure in this game and is continually punished for it. Uh-oh. And he has now disconnected here.
All right.
Hopefully that is just an internet issue as opposed
I'm
to
hoping he
tilt.
I'm hoping he actually disconnected. But you did get to see the Olaf did put a lot of damage down on the Ornn. That 1v1 was extremely close. Olaf came very close to taking down Ornn, so you see the power that Olaf does have, but just a little bit of a misplay there. Walks into turret range, and Prayer able to flash out to avoid that killing blow, while Jihoon takes that final turret shot. So we can see that even though he was 0-4 at the moment, Olaf still is able to kind of hold his own in this 1v1. But you're right, he still has to recognize that he is extremely far down at the moment, and Ornn 4-0, now 5-0. Can't just be rushing into towers like that. So we'll see if we are able to get him back into game.
A summoner has disconnected.
We got summoners disconnecting all over the place.
Zinsky now disconnected from the game, so might have a 4v4 on our hands. Try to figure out what is going on.
All right, well, we are going to take a momentary break here, possibly. Let's see. Give it a second.
Who is that? They're reconnected.
Zinsky, yes, reconnected.
So I think we're just still waiting on Jihoon Kim on the Olaf.
Yeah, we are going to take a momentary break here, folks, as we hopefully get this pause resolved. But we will be back as soon as the game is ready to go. Alrighty, folks, we are back into the game. The issues resolved there. Looks like Zinsky was dealing with some very high ping in the collapse in mid lane right afterwards, and boom, down goes Pectus. The full engage there from Reborn, handing us a layer to CC.
Back. Coming back strong with a kill to his name, picking off Pectus there, shutting him down.
It's going to be a mid lane tower here, possibly for Reborn Gaming. Bot lane of No Name Necessary showing up to respond. Zinsky has disconnected again and reconnected. He's struggling with some ping issues right now, so could be a moment before we get this back under control.
Quite unfortunate for Zinski. He is playing very well, regardless of his ping issues, but hopefully we can get those fixed for him very soon. Waiting for him to reconnect. Do have the ready check from Reborn Gaming. Just gonna wait for no name necessary. All right, we do have the ready ups from both teams. We will be resuming the game. And we are back.
Looks like Reborn may want to rotate to grab the Rift Herald here. They have all 5 members trying to grab this neutral objective. It will be spotted out by Myronbra and the rest of No Name Necessary. Looks like Reborn should be able to take this down before the response. Good arrow, though. And that's actually going to be stolen by Buster Toast.
Can he pick it up, though?
Miss Smite. Yeah, they are going to be forced to back away the ultimate from ZG and Penguin. Here's going to be the response. Prayer actually missing the ultimate there. Now they're just going to have to zone them away from that Eye of the Herald. Looks like Reborn's just going to back away. That's a misplay there by Reborn Gaming as they give over the Rift Herald. They could have at least protected that Eye of the Herald until it despawned, but they will actually give that one over. Pectus able to move in and grab that, and he's going to go wave clear on the top side. Possibly drop that there. Jihoon Kim pushing in the bottom lane, looking to take down that tower as Reborn looks to turn back towards that mid lane tier 1.
Yeah, so both teams looked like they kind of forgot about the Eye of the Herald there. Buster Toast, really nice steal, able to hew in and smite that Herald away. But then afterwards, even though he had the invulnerability from Taric, decides to get out of the fight. We see Sejuani disconnecting from the game here.
No pause initiated by Reborn as of yet.
But so Buster Toast choosing to turn away from that Eye of the Herald, the invulnerability from the Taric ultimate, and then afterwards, possibly Reborn Gaming might have thought they had already lost the Eye, didn't notice the Eye was still on the ground, don't decide to protect that Eye, and Pectus is able to walk in, pick up that Eye, goes to the top lane, uses it, able to get a small chunk of damage down on the top lane turret. But we can see Reborn Gaming actually, No Name Necessary has actually done a very good job at stabilizing this game, even though they do have the 0-5 Olaf. Olaf is about 30 CS up, which helps diminish that lead a little bit. Doesn't quite equate to 5 kills, but the gold lead is down to about 1,000 gold, 1,200 gold. So, it's really largely due to that 4-2 Karma, the 30 CS lead in the top lane, the 30 CS lead in the jungle. But they have done a very good job at kind of slowing this game down a little bit and starting to bring some control back onto their side. You see Hunter starting to hover around the bot side. Doesn't look like he's going to try to make any aggressive plays, though. As for right now, we have both bottom lanes. Hunter wants to go in on Wombat.
Yeah,
Wombat does pass
out here. Pectus shows up to respond. The arrow will land onto Zinski, but the flash forced out of Wombat. It's going to feel pretty good for No Name Necessary now. Pectus trying to get the flank here as Zinski doesn't look like he's going to be able to defend that mid tower, and with Hope coming out from this comma, pretty significant at this point in the game. They continue to push the mid lane. Good look for the tier 2. Pixel going very low here. The ultimate force out from the Taric, and No Name Necessary could look for the possible engage. I'm just going to back away and wait for this minion wave. Hunter taking more poke out of Pectus. The Dark Binding misses. Oh man, Pectus just absolutely shredding through Hunter's health bar as he's only been able to grab the Merc Tread so far. Not enough magic resist to deal with that Karma's lead right now.
But you can see No Name Necessary have kind of taken the... Oh my, that Ornn is so tanky.
Yeah, he has activated the ultimate, the teleport coming in from Wombat to try and help out his top laner. Ooh, Prayer's got to be careful here. There's the shield, and down he goes, steps too far forward as Buster Toast is backing away. And that will be his 6th death of the game. Prayer now 5-0-2 on the Ornn. Very strong. Has completed 2 full items. I would assume probably going to grab his boots at this point. No, instead just grabs another ruby crystal there. Continuing to get tanky on this Ornn, and he's still very, very difficult to take down as shown by that last skirmish.
And he has picked up a Frozen Heart, which I think is a really good buy. The Olaf, you know, going in, when he goes in, especially when he's low on health, has that attack speed boost. So the Frozen Heart is going to be able to diminish that.
They're going to get a fight here. Buster Toast engaging onto Hunter there as they do go for the Infernal Drake. Ultimate activated by Zinski. They're trying to poke out, but Pixel Dreams is going very low. Force a flash away. The Rise ultimate will move them a little farther away. Buster Toast going fairly low here. They're not able to take down the Infernal Drake as of yet. Prayer trying to retreat here. A lot of poke getting thrown at the AD carry, but Prayer actually able to take down Pectus in the 1v2. Now No Name Necessary should be able to take down this Infernal Drake. Here comes the ultimate from Prayer. He's going to knock them up, but that Infernal Drake is secured by No Name Necessary. Prayer going to have to get away from Jihoon. Jihoon gonna be careful. Don't run into this team again. Here comes Buster Toast. They're gonna try and catch out Wombat. The fear is actually gonna be avoided. Buster Toast could be in big trouble here. Zinski doesn't have the Dark Binding available yet, though. And the No Name Necessary jungler will be able to back away.
And Jihoon really wants revenge on Prayer here on this Ornn. This time, though, able to keep his composure a little more and stop himself from running in blind into the enemy team. Gets so close time and time again taking this Ornn down, but the Frozen Heart doing very good work at slowing the attack speed of Olaf and Warwick in these fights, as well as the Ashe when she is in range. So Reborn Gaming now setting up a little vision around Baron. Like you said last game, we've seen a lot more priority on these early game Barons recently. So we'll see with their gold lead. Gold lead is actually gone now with the CS leads and the turret leads. No Name Necessary has completely eliminated the gold lead. 33.3k on both sides. So they've done a very good job at bringing this game back. Now they try to regain control of the Baron pit.
Yeah, No Name Necessary doing a good job of clearing out a lot of the vision of Reborn Gaming. Just that Scuttle Crab left before they clear it all out as they look to control this Baron pit. One thing to note, though, Jihoon Kim is in the bottom lane. His teleport is not available. Neither is Prayers, but he is in the mid lane very close to his team, so he can certainly respond a lot better than the Olaf at this point.
Yeah, Jihoon Kim trying to create some pressure in the bot side. Got that push going. He up towards the middle lane, realizes that You know, a fight is about to break
wants
out.
The fight. There's the ultimate. It is going to catch out Umira, bro. Wombat is going to get the ultimate into the backline. They're going to try and turn onto the Ashe, but the Taric ultimate is going to negate a lot of damage. The Varus is shut down by Jihoon Kim, his first kill of the game. Wombat going to go low and taken down by ZGM Penguin. So a good job. Great fight here by No Name Necessary. They're going to get on to Zinski. The Morgana very low here. There's the stun, and down goes the support. Umira, bro, able to grab that kill, and that's a 3-4-0 fight in favor of No Name Necessary. Just the top laner and jungler still alive for Reborn Gaming, so good job by the red side here to turn this fight around. They're going to be able to take down the tier 2 in mid. Looks like they want to continue to push. It's going to be difficult for Reborn to defend this siege. They don't have a lot of wave clear. They're going to try and engage on the AD carry. Umira able to step away, however. Tower's going to go very low, and it will in fact go down. Now Pixel Dreams is alive, so they're going to have to be careful trying to chase down Hunter, though. Rooted, Jihoon Kim going to try and run away. There's the redemption, is going to heal up Prayer a little bit, but looks like Reborn won't be able to chase down No Name Necessary, and they will escape with all 5 members alive.
Yeah, a lot of really good fights coming out from No Name Necessary here. Beautiful Taric ultimate in the middle lane, able to negate so much damage, keep your Myron alive and able to be pumping out that damage in that fight, as well as Jinhoon with the ultimate able to avoid all that CC and run straight at Pickle's Dreams. That's the reason he picked the champion. We talked about it a little bit in the
Did you say Pickle's Dreams?
Pixel.
Okay.
A little bit of a mispronunciation there.
I don't know. I may have misheard it, but it almost sounded like you said Pickle Dreams.
Well, I was fully intended to say Pixel Dreams. No pickles here. But Pixel Dreams taken down by... Now I'm going to be thinking about that every single time I say it.
Good. I hope I ruined the rest of the cast for you.
Geez. Jihoon able to take down Pixel. I'm just going to start calling him Dreams now.
We are going to get
here
another
we go again,
fight though. Yeah, Buster Toast is going to get onto Wombat and actually take him down. Prayer is late to arrive to this fight. Pixel Dreams trying to deal as much damage as he can. The Glacial Prison will slow down Pectus as it does land onto the Karma, but No Name Necessary is going to be able to turn onto this Baron and get it started. The vision has been cleared out almost entirely for Reborn Gaming. They're going to try and discourage this. Looks like No Name Necessary does want to turn onto the team. The redemption is going to keep them alive a little bit longer. Jihoon Kim trying to get onto the backline. The CC is going to land onto the Olaf as his ultimate wears away. Pixel Dreams trying to run away from Pectus, dealing out as much damage as he can. He stands in place, but the Inner Flame will take him down. The flash from ZGM Penguin plus the stun will take down the jungler Prayer and Zinski. All that is left, but Prayer will go down. That's a 3-0, and Wombat has just spawned, but he still died earlier in that fight. That's a 4-1 fight in favor of
Beautiful play by Penguin here. He is doing so much for the team. Besides his 2 kills that he secured in that fight, his ultimates have just been absolutely on point, especially just timing them so well with all the big damage ultimates coming out from Reborn Gaming, able to get those Taric ultimates down and just negate so much damage and really just keeping all of his carries alive for so long. So Penguin, incredible play in these last couple fights, and he's really been the reason that they've been able to turn these fights around. And now picking up the second Infernal Dragon on top of their 1 Ocean that they do have. They now have almost 6,000 gold lead for themselves.
Yeah, and you talked about the composition of Reborn Gaming outscaling No Name Necessary fairly well, but when you're able to grab 2 Infernal Drakes there, No Name Necessary, it negates a lot of that scaling advantage, especially if you're able to grab an Elder Dragon. And man, that just, it can almost essentially wipe away that scaling advantage that Reborn Gaming has inherently in their composition.
It definitely does. And another thing about the scaling composition that Reborn Gaming has is, you know, they want to fight these front-to-back team fights. They want to have Ornn and Sejuani up in the front line, disrupting the enemy team with Varus and Rai sitting in the back, dishing out damage while being protected by this Morgana. But if No Name Necessary is able to keep finding these advantageous fights, if they can keep getting these good Taric ultimates that are just, protecting them long enough to take down these front lines and get to the back lines, it really negates some of the scaling that Reborn Gaming does have. So really good job by No Name Necessary to find the fights that they need, to find the fights that they have to find to come back into this game. And Reborn Gaming is going to start having to be a little more cautious about where and when they're throwing down these big ultimates, because if they just dump everything all at once onto a Taric ultimate, then they're kind of out of luck. You see Jinhoon here pushing up to the open inhibitor, pulling Reborn Gaming back to the base to try to defend this. So he's been doing a very good job on the split push. They do have a large wave building in the bottom side. Wombat is going to have to go deal with that. Might give No Name Necessary an opening once they see him to engage on that Baron.
Now, one thing to note, Wombat does have his teleport available, so he can move his way up there. Pings from No Name Necessary onto that Baron, so it looks like they want to start at Buster Toast, about to arrive in the vicinity as well, and they are going to turn onto that Baron. I would assume Wombat is prepping to use this teleport. That Dark Mining is going to land onto Buster Toast, so some early poke going to come out from Reborn Gaming. Looks like they may want to respond with a fight, but just going to back away. Ideally, Reborn wants to force out that Taric ultimate back away and then re-engage the fight afterwards. So we're going to see if they can bait Penguin into using that ultimate early and then respond once it wears away. Wombat continuing to push in the bot side. Good on him to hold that teleport. It hasn't been necessary yet.
Yeah, really smart play by him because, as you said, Reborn Gaming wants to bait out this Taric ultimate, but at the same time, No Name Necessary wants to try to get that teleport out, try to get maybe a Sejuani ultimate or a Ornn ultimate out, remove some of this team fight power that Reborn Gaming does have.
Myra could be caught here. He's actually zoned out by Prayer. He's going down very low, but Prayer is going to get collapsed on by the rest of the team, and Reborn actually isn't able to respond. Can he take Myra down? He doesn't. He is able to force out the heal, but that top laner is dead, and this should essentially be a free Baron for No Name Necessary. Reborn can no longer contest without their top laner. They aren't taking it down very fast, so it could mean that they lose a tower on the bottom side of the map, but still, that's a good play from No Name Necessary. They catch out Prayer there as Umaira almost able to bait in the Ornn and zone out the rest of the lineup so they can't help their top laner, and it's a kill in a Baron for No Name Necessary as they move back out onto the map.
Absolutely. A little bit of miscommunication there by Reborn Gaming. Prayer sees Umaira all alone, like kind of off to the side, while the rest of the team is on that Baron, decides to go in and try to pick him off. But Umaira, Ashe is so good as a 1v1 champion, able to apply enough CC, able to kite backwards and avoid Prayer until the rest of the team is able to follow up. And the rest of Reborn Gaming wasn't collapsing with Prayer, so he ended up all alone, behind 4 enemies and ends up going down. And that's a huge amount of the gold that they do have is on this Ornn.
Yeah,
and
Prayer's still 6-2 in 3 with 169 CS. Has been actually Flame Horizon by Jihoon Kim. I don't know if you would, I'd call you a liar if you had predicted that Jihoon Kim would go down 0-6 and would still Flame Horizon his lane opponent, but he has been able to do so, has been able to respond. We talked about him possibly losing his composure in the early game, but it seems like he's done a very good job at filling his role for the team in this game and has responded very, very well to a rough early game. So credit to him for pulling things together on this Olaf and still being a very good contributor for the side of No Name Necessary in this game. They look to siege down on the bottom side. Jihoon has now moved to the mid lane to get that Mingyu Wave pushing towards that exposed inhibitor, and that will mean a tier 2 dropping on the bottom side. All 6 outer towers now down for Reborn Gaming, along with that middle lane inhibitor turret.
Yeah, absolutely. Jihoon doing an exceptional job. Probably going to take down an inhibitor here. I don't see anybody from Reborn Gaming going up to answer that. yeah, Jihoon does take down the mid lane inhibitor while the rest of the team is focused on the bottom side. They do have the Baroned up minions on this inhibitor turret. Infernal Drake is up. I do see a couple of pings on it. They might want to take down this turret first and then fall back to that. But Jihoon realizes he can no longer, just keep fighting this Ornn over and over and over again. So decides to fall into more of a split push role, create pressure on opposite sides of the map, draw crucial members away from these objectives so that the rest of his team can win these fights. So he's done a very good job, coming back and finding a use for the team, even though he had such a rough start. So very good job by him. And now they've been able to, secure the Baron, and with that, just crack open the base of Reborn Gaming and, get themselves almost an 8,000 gold lead, actually over 8,000 gold lead.
Yeah, also able to secure now a triple Infernal here, so any Elder Drake, which will be the next one to spawn, is extremely dangerous if No Name Necessary is able to pick it up. So Reborn will have to very strongly contest any sort of dragon take for the rest of the game.
And with those triple Infernals, you kind of actually eliminate all the scaling that was on the side of Reborn Gaming. They don't have any infinite scaling champions like a Nasus or a Vigar that just can't be outscaled. But Ashe, Karma, Olaf, those guys are no slouch in the late game by any standards. And with triple Infernals, they're definitely on par, if not above, their opponents on the side of Reborn Gaming. And so kind of the luck of the draw there with all those Infernals. Good job on them to be able to secure all of those. Penguin here is so tanky on this Taric, has a lot of armor on him, a lot of magic resist.
Hunter is going to need to be careful here on the Sejuani. The arrow going to come flying in and catch out Zinski. The ultimate from Buster Toast will take down the Morgana. Now Prayer has finally arrived. The Taric ultimate is down. Good job by Pixel Dreams to actually ult onto the Taric. Nearly catches out. There's a Glacial Prison onto you, Myra, but no follow-up from the rest of Reborn Gaming. So the Ashe just able to back away. Wombat is fairly low. They don't have big health bars on their backline. Buster Toast running into the backline. Wombat forced to flash away. Pixel Dreams going very low. He's going to get taken down. The stun from ZGM Penguin. There goes Wombat. That is going to be the ace. Yes, the the axe of Jihoon Kim will secure it. It will be the game.
Unless Zinski can pull off a miracle pentakill here.
Yeah, would feel safe predicting that, as No Name Necessary does grab the Nexus, and they will force game number 3 here against Reborn Gaming. A solid response there by the red side team.
And such an impressive performance with such a shaky early game. No Name Necessary doing a crazy great job at keeping their cool, just clawing their way back through these games, just team fight after team fight, surviving by the skin of their teeth. Just those ultimates out of Penguin just really turned around all those fights in the mid game, stopped all of the aggression that Reborn Gaming was putting down with the lead that they had created. And so really well played by No Name Necessary. Penguin definitely gets my MVP vote for this game. Those Taric ultimates were absolutely on point. And although I think Pectus did a really good job at, kind of helping their team survive the very early stages, I think Penguin was just so clutch in these fights. Perfect Taric ultimates time after time, soaked up so much damage. And so Penguin 4-0-9 on this Taric gets my MVP vote for this game.
Yeah, certainly credit to Pectus as well. A very solid honorable mention there, dealing 32,500 damage. 11,000 more than the next player behind him. And you look at the side, one thing to notice here for Reborn Gaming, the Ornn did the most damage for their entire team.
Yeah, that's actually crazy.
That is not going to win you a lot of games, especially when you have a Varus and a Ryze on your team. I mean, there was just not enough coming out of the carries of Reborn Gaming that time around. And, you know, certainly a ton of credit to No Name Necessary for recovering from that, you know, heavy early game deficit. But, you know, I need to see a significant response from the bottom side of Reborn Gaming in this third game if they do hope to grab a series victory here. So credit to both of these teams, as we will see this series going the distance.
Absolutely going to be heading into game 3, the last match. We'll see who will take the series home. We'll see if, you know, they decide to stick with what kind of compositions they go with. You know, what's going to be banned out? Is it going to be the Ornn? Is it going to be the Caitlyn from the first game? These third games are always the most interesting to look at for the picks and ban phases in respect of the strategy. We saw in the first game that Reborn Gaming is exceptionally good at macro play, moving around the map, taking objectives. This game, they were, you know, it was a really good job by No Name Necessary to take away a lot of the tools that had allowed them to do that, taking away the Caitlyn, taking away the Vel'Koz, taking away some of that potential to play the map in the way that Reborn Gaming likes to do. So we'll see if they're able to draft themselves a composition that can do that in this third game, or if they decide to go for, you know, more of a 5v5 team fight style. And we, you know, saw this last game, the second game, that No Name Necessary is very good in those team fights. You know, those perfect ultimates coming out from Penguin. You know, great positioning, you know, by Wombat. Just really good, or by Pectus, not Wombat. Wombat is on Reborn Gaming. But we'll see, you know, what kind of compositions these teams can draft for themselves in the third game, or if they bring anything out new. You get one more chance to see your Kaisa.
If I'm lucky, I wouldn't expect it, but, you know, a girl can dream. Excuse me.
If you're really lucky, you might even get one of those Kaisa jungles or plane. Really spice it up.
I am all in for the spicy picks in the ABL. This is the place to get them anyway, so.
Absolutely. So we are just waiting for, looks like, Zinsky to join the lobby before we can get into the champ select for the third game. But we will have Reborn Gaming on the red side this game. No Name Necessary on the blue side. Pretty sure red side has had 100% win rate this game, if I remember correctly. And I think it was the same last time we were casting together as well. So I think so. I don't think I've ever casted a game where blue side has won. So it's a good sign for Reborn Gaming here. Still waiting on the ready checks. We do now have Zinski in the lobby. Ready checks from both sides. Here we go into picks and bans for Game 3 of No Name Necessary versus Reborn Gaming. You're tied 1-1. Obviously, only way you get into Game 3. We will see what the first ban coming out from No Name Necessary is. Are on the blue side. We're able to pick up a win this last game to keep their hopes alive. Aatrox actually the first ban coming out from No Name Necessary. A little bit of a surprising pick. Aatrox has definitely gotten a lot better over the last month or two. Received some reworks, some buffs from Riot, and he is very good at dueling now. And we're back in the lobby.
That was fast.
Almost had it. Game 3's over, guys. It was a tie. Looks like they banned the wrong champion. They meant to ban Janna. So they restarted the queue, the lobby. So hopefully we'll be getting back into Champ Select here, Game 3. Both teams looks like have getting their ready checks. And here we go. Assuming this first ban to be the Janna, that's what they said they intended to ban first time around instead of the Aatrox. Jin Hoon had a little bit of connection issues, banned the wrong champion. There we go. Janna first ban. Assuming this one to be the Zac again from the gaming. They have kept their bans pretty standard throughout the first two games. Zac, Talia, Azir, really not wanting to allow those champions to go over to the side of No Name Necessary, afraid of what they can do with those champions in their hand. The Caitlyn coming out again from No Name Necessary, banning that away, not wanting to give Pixel that champion, saw what he can do with it in the first game. The macro possibilities alone, the objective taking power that Caitlyn does bring to the table, deadly in the hands of Reborn Gaming. Xayah banned out inside of Reborn. Very strong AD carry right now, not wanting to give that over. And No Name Necessary will have first pick this time, so we'll see if they decide to prioritize a stronger AD carry such as the Varus.
We did see them pick the Ezreal first pick in the.
Yes, we did see the Ezreal. Started off all right with the Kleptomancy, got a nice lead for himself, but with the jungler attention that was brought down to the bot lane, fell behind to that Caitlyn. See if they decide to go back for it, or if they decide to pick up the Varus. Definitely a premier AD carry is up, but no, they want Pectus back on that Karma. Pectus, was doing very good in those first 10 minutes on the Karma, able to get himself 3-1, I believe, 3-0 or 3-1. Although the rest of the top lane was kind of falling apart, able to keep his cool. And our RBG now picking up that Varus again for the self, as well as the Taric. Now, I really like this because the Taric was one of the main reasons, in my opinion, that No Name Necessary was able to claw their way back into that game. Those Taric ultimates were absolutely clutch in just negating everything that Reborn was throwing at them. So for Reborn to pick that up for themselves, I think is a really good pick. The Karma and the Taric, which is a little too much protection for the carries of No Name Necessary. But they will pick up the Sivir for themselves. Sivir is very, very strong laner, very safe, has her spell shield to avoid all that CC, as well as can just sit in the back and with the ricochet, can send those auto attacks throughout the entire enemy team without having to step up at all. Buster Toast again on this Warwick did a good job in the early game last time. Got some nice picks off with the ultimate. Wants to get back on that champion. We'll see if Reborn Gaming decides to pick up a jungler this rotation, or if they're willing to, lock down their mid or top, possibly pinch a rule. They will lock in Volibear. So Volibear really risen in priority lately. Had some nice buffs. I think this last patch he was actually nerfed a little bit. Win rate dropped slightly, but definitely a strong champ. Able to tank so much damage, able to run in, flip those carries out, just output all of that AoE damage from his ultimate. So standard lanes for as far as we can tell, matching picks from each side, bot lane and jungler. That Karma can be flexed into the mid lane. I would assume that Pectus will be playing that Karma. So if Reborn Gaming wanted, they could pinch the support role. They do decide to take the Singed away, actually.
Yeah, 2 top lane bans there towards No Name Necessary. So
they might be looking to flex that Volibear into the top lane, actually. Might be why they're banning out those. That Renekton and that Singed can do very well against Volibear. But we'll see where they decide to put him. Orianna banned out, just further confirming that it's probably mid lane Karma. Galio picked up for Reborn Gaming. Another flex pick. Could play top, most likely mid. Will be safe enough against that Karma. Again, though, this Maokai not picked up. Cho'Gath banned away on the side of N3. See if they decide to pick that one up for themselves. No, Jinhoon wants back on that Olaf.
now the question is, they do have the availability to counter pick that Olaf right now. So I'm curious to see if they do take, the Ornn again, or maybe, something else. I'm curious to see what Reborn wants to give to Prayer in that top lane, because I would lean more towards that Volibear probably going to Hunter in the jungle, but certainly have some options there, as the Lulu is in fact the last pick for No Name Necessary.
Yeah, it's looking like it might actually be the Volibear top, as Zinski hovering the brand in the Anivia.
No, would have to be
the Volibear jungle.
Galio top.
Galio top, that's what I meant. Yeah, you're correct. So would want the Galio top against that Olaf. Can be a little bit tricky. Now, okay, so we'll see what they decide to do, but those are 3 flex picks. I would assume Volibear in the jungle, Vladimir most likely in the mid lane, and then Galio, or Vladimir in the top lane, and then Galio mid. Looks like what they're going for. Seems like it. So Galio should be able to do just fine against this Karma. Has a lot of wave clear with his Q, Winds of War. I wouldn't expect him to, dominate the lane by any means. Karma should be able to push him out slightly, but Galio should be able to survive. He can roam around the map quite well. So I'll be definitely looking to Wombat to try to get around the map and create leads for its other teams. But again, we see a lot of scaling coming out from Reborn Gaming. Vladimir scales really well. Varus, we've already talked about his scaling, as well as Taric. You can see, you've seen the team fight potential that Tark will bring to the table. But NNN and Necessary also have a lot of scaling with that Sivir. So much protection on that Sivir with the Karma, with the Lulu. They have a really large go fast comp. Sivir ultimate, Karma ult shield, Olaf being able to pop the ultimate with that ghost, Warwick getting his blood scent. So very fast team comp by the side of NNN Necessary. But we'll see if Galio is able to kind of turn that around with his ultimate, able to join from an entire lane away, half a lane away with his ultimate. We'll see if he's able to get around the map and counter a little bit of that speed that N3 has put together. We do see Vladimir with the barrier in the top lane. Prayer does not decide to take teleport. We'll see he might have unsealed spellbook, wanting to swap to that later. I'm not quite sure what he's deciding to take on that champion, but at least to start off the game, wants a little bit more protection, safety, so decides to bring that barrier into lane. About a minute and a half left until we get through the spectator delay into Game 3 of NNN Necessary versus Reborn Gaming.
Yeah, definitely excited for this decider. Hope all of you at home are excited as well. Again, for the last time tonight, thank you so much for joining us. Obviously, best way to support us is to come out and watch every week on Monday and Tuesday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, here at twitch.tv/ABL Esports. Consider subscribing or following. Could grab some cool emotes if you do subscribe. Our donation link is in the description as well if you want to support us that way. And head over to ablseries.com for any news, stats, schedules, and more. All of the info about the ABL series is right over there. And hoping we can deliver you an exciting game number 3 here to finish off week number 6. Just 3 more weeks of play after this. Definitely going to be fun to watch the stretch run here towards the postseason.
Absolutely. We see Pectus now with the Ignite in lane. We have seen Pectus take Unsealed Spellbook, I believe, both games. So I would assume that he was taking it again here in the third game. Jihoon on the Olaf with the Teleport and Ghost. I've already talked about Vladimir. Prayer on Vladimir with the barrier in lane. Wants that protection. Doesn't want to go for the Ignite to stop some of that healing. Neither top laner really worried about the healing coming out from each other. Doesn't bring Ignite into lane. But Vladimir and Varus going to offer a lot of scaling on the side of Reborn Gaming. It's kind of been the playstyle that they have gone for. Some of that late game team fighting prowess, while NNN Necessary really wants to get around the map. They want to catch people out, want to make plays. They have the Olaf. They have Karma, I assume, will have teleport later onto the game. Sivir with her ultimate, Lulu with her speed ups, and then Warwick, obviously very fast. Want to, just get around the map as quickly as possible and try to catch Reborn Gaming off guard. Apologize for that. My throat's a little sore. Lost a bit of my voice at the LCS.
Getting a little too hype. The LCS studio.
It was.
Well, could have plenty of hype here in this third game between NNN Necessary and Reborn Gaming. We are on to the Rift, ladies and gentlemen, for the third game of this series. Remember, Reborn Gaming was able to take game number 1. NNN Necessary responded with a victory in game number 2 in comeback fashion. We'll have to see which of these teams can secure game number 3 and a victory in this match. Both of these teams jockeying for those 3rd and 4th place spots in the standings. We will see both teams moving out onto the Rift to start off this third game.
And we see typical ABL fashion, NNN Necessary moving out as a 5-man unit.
Could possibly catch out Prayer here. forcing him to flash away, as well as taking his pool there at level 1. That's going to feel very bad in laning phase. Going to significantly hurt him at level 1.
Absolutely, especially with Olaf throwing out those axes constantly. Prayer is going to be missing that sustain he's getting from the Qs. Only necessary. Want to try to look for another pick. They are standing on top of a ward. So Reborn Gaming will know they're there. Decide to back off now. Return to their lane. Sivir and Lulu have to get down to bot lane pretty quick. Minions have already spawned. Should be alright though. Jungler starting on opposite sides of the map this time. Volibear starting on the bot side while Warwick is starting on his top side. We'll see where they decide to go. Where do they decide to go after their camps? You see Sivir starting off with a Doran shield, a little bit afraid of the poke coming out from Varus. Jihoon already starting to poke out Prayer in the top lane, knowing he doesn't have his heal. Going very aggressive. Trying to get as much damage as he can down as quickly as he can before Prayer is able to have access to that Q to heal himself back up. Doing a really good job of it too.
Yeah, continuing to bully Prayer away from the wave, forcing him to farm under tower. He has now hit level 2, so we'll feel a little better now, but still that level 1 was very, very brutal for the Vladimir.
Absolutely. Prayer did end up bringing Unsealed Spellbook, so he will be able to swap over to a teleport later in the game if he wants to, make some cross-map plays with his team. Going in though, has to be a little careful. Getting chunked out by Jihoon. The lower he gets on health, the more attack speed he gets.
Yeah, the one good thing that Prayer did have going there was Jihoon was relatively low on mana. He is going to sustain a little bit of that up thanks to his corrupting potion.
Absolutely, and we see, just like the other games, pretty even CS across the board as far as these first couple of minutes. No teams getting any unusual lead over their opponents. Plenty of wave clearing protection on either side. As far as masteries go, both AD carries again taking fleet footwork. Pretty standard, not many AD carries use any keystone other than that. Did get some nerfs. We have seen a rise in popularity of press the attack and lethal tempo, but fleet footwork is still kind of seen as the most useful at the moment. Both Galio and Volibear taking the aftershocks. We'll probably see much more tankier build out of Wombat here. Warwick with the Predator wants to get around the map even quicker. Gonna be looking at Buster Toast to try to make some early game plays, especially once he gets access to that ultimate. Prayer now starting to turn the tides on Jihoon. Jihoon out of mana. Prayer not having to worry about that. Recognizing that Jihoon can't, keep poking him down with those Qs and able to get in and get a lot of damage down onto Jihoon. Actually, with those empowered Qs, gets really aggressive.
Could possibly grab a kill here. Is going to force out the ghost from Jihoon. Doesn't have his flash available, so he can't flash and Q to finish that one off, but we'll still be able to force Jihoon out of lane and most likely force out a teleport as well from the Olaf.
Absolutely. So Prayer doing a very good job forcing Jihoon out of lane, even though he had that rough start, that level 1 where he had to take pool and blow flash really early.
Ooh, Hunter has arrived in the bottom lane. He is going to flip Myra back. That is going to force out the flash. No more heal as well. And that's going to be a dead 80 carry there. Pixel Dream's able to grab first blood on the Varus. Good lane gank there from the Volibear, able to arrive very quickly and take down the Sivir. And an early lead again for Reborn Gaming.
Yeah, really good gank by Hunter, able to use that speed from Volibear, just run straight down the lane. A little bit of a misplay by Myra, not getting the spell shield off correctly on the Taric stun, so is caught up by that, which allows Hunter to flip him back, and secures the kill. Blows both summoners as well. Lulu uses the exhaust, but saves the flash. It's a good start by them. Lesser Toast, though, answering on the top side.
Yeah, Prayer could be in big trouble here. There's the flash, and Q does activate his pool. Could go down to the axe here. Good sustain. Oh man, just able to survive. Actually able to heal up to about half health with that empowered Q there. So,
yeah, well played by him. Well played by Prayer to get the ultimate down, but will get that extra chunk of healing back. Quick reflexes there.
Yeah, one thing to note, he actually wasn't forced to use a summoner spell in that fight. On the Jinhoon Kim taking out quite a chunk of health there with a couple of axes, forcing Prayer to back off again.
Prayer is getting a little low, so he has to be careful. Buster Toast is on the top side again.
Jinhoon Kim doesn't have any mana, however. Could possibly see him go for an outplay. Remember, he still does have both of his summoner spells. That includes the barrier on this Vladimir, so he was a little bit more difficult to kill if they go for the dive.
Yeah, Buster Toast just gonna come up and steal away the Krugs. Hunter doing the same thing on the opposite side of the map. Might come in for a gank behind the bottom lane. Reborn Gaming has so much vision. Galio waiting by the Dragon Pit to ult into this fight. Is level 7, does have his ultimate available. Decides to just back off.
Yeah, they seemed a little less confident in the potential to dive here on the bot side, but they could grab the Ocean Drake as a consolation prize.
Actually, really good job by the bot side of NNN Necessary, recognizing that, Galio disappeared from lane. They didn't have any vision on the jungler. Warwick had just been on the top side, knew that Hunter wasn't there, so he knew he was on the bot side, and with the Galio missing, bot side of NNN Necessary smart enough to back off under their turret, expecting the dive to come out. Hunter now wanting to go in on Pectus, forces his flash.
Yeah, trades the Chilling Smite for the flash of Pectus there. So good aggression from Hunter on the Volibear. Oh, but he is going to get caught out by Buster Toast in his own jungle. The ultimate coming out from the Galio is going to knock up Buster Toast. Hunter's got to be careful though. He is very low. His passive has been procced, but one inner flame from Pectus will force him to back away.
Yeah, smart job by Pectus, throwing out the Ignite, knowing that the passive was going to proc, throwing out the Ignite to cut down almost all of that healing. You saw Volibear really didn't get much healing out of that passive. So good heads-up play by the Karma. Jinhoon getting aggressive under turret, chunking Prayer out. We see dead even CS in the top lane. We have a small lead for the Galio in the mid lane, and a 20 CS lead for Varus in the bottom side, thanks to that pressure that Galio was able to get simply by walking down out of lane, out of vision, forcing his bottom lane to back off and allowing Pixel Dreams to, just shove out that lane, get a nice CS lead. And you see all the vision that Reborn Gaming has down on the bot side, 4 control wards littering that river. Buster Toast just really doesn't have many opportunities to get in there unless he just goes through possibly the lane.
Could be caught out here. Jihoon able to get the flank, does force out the stopwatch. He's going to get the healing just in time and actually gets the kill as Jihoon takes a couple too many tower shots, and Prayer able to outplay there and get the solo kill on Jihoon Kim.
That was incredibly close, and after the last game, Jihoon can't be feeling great after that one. You see Jihoon typing in chat only 4 more times. So gotta be a little upset about that one. So close to taking Prayer down. Luckily, Prayer did have the stopwatch. It is after 10 minutes now. So, but very well played by Prayer there. Outplaying to get the solo kill. 1-0. Now finish his proto belt. Swapped his barrier out for the teleport. So could use that to get back to lane if he wanted. But seems his team, you know, kind of dancing around this dragon, might want to save it in case a fight breaks out. That does allow Jihoon to get a very good chunk of damage down on this top lane turret. Hunter taking a bit of poke from Ocean Drake. Quite annoying, Ocean Drake. All of its auto attacks do slow you, so you get a couple extra in there. In the bot side, Pixel Dreams, incredible CS right now, hovering right around that 10 CS per minute mark. Is very close to completing his Rage Blade, even though he's only 12 minutes in. Does have a kill to his name. We see there's more scuffling around in the top side. Prayer able to heal back up after these trades.
Yeah, Jihoon seems content to continue to aggressively trade into this Vladimir. Hard to make those stick with the just inbuilt sustain in Vladimir's kit, but he's still making Prayer respect him in this lane despite giving up that solo kill.
Absolutely. Pixel Dreams comes out with the ult.
Yeah, he is going to throw it on his Zichian Penguin, force the flash away as Wombat does ult down to the bottom side.
And now that flash is down, that is flashless Lulu, so they could look to pressure this dragon. They do have a control ward in the pit, so no name necessary can't actually see what's going on. Prayer has his teleport waiting.
Yeah, Peck is trying to get some poke out. We're going to pull Prayer out of the pit a little bit, but they may be forced to back away here. Wombat trying to get the flank, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough. Hunter is going to get snared there by Pectus, and looks like this will be a free Ocean Drake. And Reborn filing into that small corridor there, making Pectus's poke very, very easy, and just chunks out Zinsky. And there's the ultimate for Buster Toasted, and back then missed. The mirror will land, however, forcing the heal out of Pixel Dreams to save Zinsky's life. Prayer is pushing on the top side, has teleport available, but elected not to use it, so no name necessary will push the Reborn Gaming members out of their jungle. Now, Prayer activates the ultimate on the top side, so does Jihoon Kim. There's a little bit of the sustain, but it may not be enough. There's the Q, will save him a little bit longer. Not able to juke the axe, and will in fact go down. The solo kill to Jihoon Kim on the Olaf, and he's going to get to continue to push on the top side.
Finally takes down Prayer in lane. Breaks the curse. But I did want to mention that Ocean Drake, very well played by Jihoon, recognizing that he did not have his teleport available while Prayer did. So knowing that if he stays in lane, he's going to be creating a mismatch for his team. So instead, knows his team wants to start going around that Ocean Drake. So he starts walking down very early. And when Reborn Gaming sees that, forces them to be a little more cautious because they know that Olaf's coming down. So they back off a little, which buys enough space for no name necessary to take that Ocean Drake. So well played by Jihoon there.
Now, no name necessary forcing Reborn Gaming out of their red side jungle. They have been trying to punish Hunter's Volibear as often as possible. They will continue to do so as Wombat getting pushed in aggressively by Pectus. We
see Varus now completed his Rage Blade. see the effect of that 30 CS lead. Sivir still sitting on a BF sword, boots, and a dagger. Definitely a little bit of a mismatch there. She knows she has to be careful in that lane. Warwick looks like he's taking down Rift Herald right now. Doesn't seem like anybody has spotted him at all.
Wombat looks like he wants to fight in the mid lane. He's going to land the taunt onto Pectus, but not a lot of damage being returned. Magic resist from that Athene's Unholy Grail is making Pectus not take a lot of damage from this Galio in any trades.
Yeah, it's been interesting to see. Pectus has rushed that Athene's Holy Grail twice now on this Karma. A little bit of a more supporting build does kind of delay some of the scaling items that Karma likes to get in the mid lane. But it's a very good, it's a great item for price that it is and the stats that it gives. Gives you a lot of survivability as well as being able to keep some of your allies alive. It allows you to heal them whenever you shield them. So very useful item, very gold efficient. Olaf now finishes his Titanic Hydra. Wombat a little low on mana, didn't want to flash in for that engage. Knew he couldn't exactly follow it up with much. Pectus just continuing to lay on all of this poke. Pixel 40 CS now up over Myron, doing an incredible job in the lane, still hovering at almost 10 CS per minute, doing an amazing job of coming up here. Created quite the lead for himself just through his farm. Even though he only has 1 kill to his name, he's probably half an item ahead of Sivir at this point. I'm assuming she could go back, probably sitting on quite a bit of gold. We see now pretty calm around the map. Buster Toast is hovering around the bot side, might want to try to look to engage. Has a control word in the bush, won't be spotted. Otherwise, both teams just content to kind of farm up, get their items, look for those late game spikes, wait for those objectives to start spawning. Next dragon will be another Ocean Drake spawning in about a minute. Baron coming up in about 2. Teams maybe looking to try to get some items before those come up and look to fight a little bit more around then.
Wombat looking to try and get the bait here in the mid lane, and a good engager. Hunter able to get in comboed with the Galio ultimate, will secure the kill onto the Karma. They are going to be able to grab Jihoon here as well. That kill going over to the Vladimir. Now they're going to be fighting on the bottom side. Zinski activates his ultimate. Here comes the teleport from Prayer. He's going to try and get in here. Buster Toast going very low. Force the flash away as Pixel Dreams dealing out as much damage as he can on the Varus. Now they're going to take down this Rift Herald prior to it charging on to their tier 2 tower. Some good fights across the board. Gold now dead even for both of these teams as Reborn looks to create some more pressure across the map. We mentioned that Drake coming up in 15 seconds, now Baron in about a minute, so neutral objectives will be the name of the game here for the next couple of minutes.
And we see Hunter already went back, got a control ward as well as Wombat, so they're probably going to move out onto this map, try to clear out all the vision, starve the vision off of no name necessary around this Drake. It is the objective that they want to take at the moment. Have started the Drake. Might decide to turn off, just be happy to get the Scuttler for some of that permanent vision right in front of that pit. Hunter does want to back, get some full health before he decides to pressure this, but might give No Name a window. Might try to rush this down. They did get the Scuttle. Looks like they're just going to try to rush it down. Shouldn't find any contest.
Yeah, the response will be way too late for Reborn Gaming. A second Ocean Drake over to No Name Necessary, so they will just have more of that out of combat sustained prayer. Oh man, taking half of his health bar there from Jihoon just in the initial part of that trade. Still has his tower up, so he has somewhere to retreat to, but Buster Toast may be caught here. The engage from Reborn Gaming, they will catch out the No Name Necessary jungler. Could look for more of a fight here. CGM Penguin and Pectus have stepped up fairly far, but the response from the rest of the team is late. They'll be able to get back to the mid lane and avoid any more of a fight, but Reborn may look to shove down the mid lane here as they know they have the numbers advantage. Now they're going to try and get onto Pectus. He's going to get flipped back into the team. They're layering the CC onto the Karma. Down goes Pectus. The kill over to Pixel Dreams, and now they can really look to push in the mid lane with just the bottom lane to defend. Prayer now dueling with Jihoon activates the ultimate. That will just be the signal for the Olaf to back away. That is going to get the taunt onto Penguin. Oh, getting chunked out there. Going down below 100 health thanks to Pixel Dreams and Wombat. Now they'll get to get some more damage onto that mid lane tower, but with no minion wave. This could be big trouble. Pixel Dreams nearly caught out by the Warwick, but that's a little too far for No Name Necessary, and down goes Buster Toast as soon as he is back to life. He goes down once more. Great Taric ultimate there from Zinski.
Yeah, a little aggressive there. Buster Toast sees that the Varus gets chunked out, decides to try to go in for that, you know, the sneaky little ultimate, tries to hit him, but he has 4 team members around him, or 3 team members around him. So many people able to just simply step in front, block that Warwick ultimate. If he had connected, would have definitely been great for No Name Necessary, but unfortunately does not connect on the low health Varus and loses his life for it.
If that's a pre-rework Warwick, then
Oh,
Pixel
yeah.
Dreams probably dies. But the new one you
Absolutely.
can just body block, and very easy for Zinski and Wombat and Hunter to just step up and just make a wall between the jungler and their AD carry and save his life, and it costs Buster Toast now his 2nd death of the game. Blue buff handed over to Pectus. So he looks to continue to push in the mid lane. Baron now alive here. 22.5 minutes into the game, and looks like both of these teams do want to play around this objective early once more. Hunter could be caught here. Here comes the rest of the team. He's going fairly low. He's not that tanky as of yet. That's a Galio ultimate, though. We'll keep him alive a little longer. Down goes Buster Toast. Hunter's actually able to escape. The ultimate has been activated by Jihoon. He's going to run away, but Prayer wants to get onto the backline. Umairabra has activated the On the Hunt stopwatch, or excuse me, it's now a Zanya is activated by Prayer. Will keep him alive a little bit longer. Wombat now has taunted Umairabra, but a lot of follow-up from the rest of the team as Pixel Dreams is late to arrive, so that will just be a 1-for-0 in favor of Reborn Gaming as they look to defend their mid lane tower.
Yeah, a lot of good plays coming out from Reborn Gaming. Taric able to keep Volibear alive. His passive does proc, almost dies before he can really utilize any of that healing, but Taric able to get a shield on top of him. And so, as well as that Aftershock really coming into effect, getting him tanky enough to survive that initial burst and allow that passive to heal him back up to full half health. But we see Varus now completed Rage Blade and Wit's End, sitting on that Cutlass, so starting to do a lot of damage. Still 30-40 CS up over Umairan, 5-0. This Varus is absolutely huge right now, and only going to get stronger.
Prayer trying to catch out Jihoon Kim here along with his jungler, getting quite a bit of sustain out of his ultimate, and Hunter will grab that kill onto the top laner. Now they're going to try and take down ZGM Penguin here. They will trade their mid lane tower for it, but he's going to go down. Now they're going to try and chase down Umairabra. Not enough CC to follow up though, and the On the Hunt will get the Sivir away.
Yeah, Sivir a little tough to catch, especially with the Lulu. They are able to catch her. Varus with the ultimate under the turret, able to lock Lulu down, force her to take a couple of turret shots, so good play by him.
Ooh, now they're going to try and dive Umairabra there. Buster Toast will actually miss the ultimate as he flashes in. Going to get quite a bit of damage from Pixel Dreams, and he's actually going to go down, not respecting the damage, trying to bait as long as he can, but he will die. That's the double kill for the Varus there.
Holy crap.
as well.
Pixel Dreams got his dancing boots out today. able to, juke around the Warwick ultimate, able to kite back perfectly, gets the max health proc from his 3 blight stacks on his E, bursts him down, still able to take out Sivir as well, and then flashes away from the threat. So incredibly well played by Pixel there. That was fun to watch. Extremely mechanically gifted AD carry, showing off his mastery on this champion.
Yeah, he's got his dancing shoes out and his carry pants on for this third game as he is now 8-0.
Doesn't even have his boots upgraded. So very impressive play by him. Now 8-0, 40 CS up. Infernal Drake now spawning in 1 second. Definitely not going to be one that Reborn Gaming is going to want to give over as easily as they did the first or the last one. Varus not quite with them yet. Did back finish his Blade of the Ruined King. Now 3 items strong to Sivir's 2, full item ahead of her. Now they're going to be wanting to look around this Infernal Drake. Both Vladimir and Olaf in the top lane both have teleport if they need to join this fight.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be the Infernal Drake over to Reborn Gaming as they're able to burn it down before No Name Necessary can respond. Now it looks like No Name Necessary is going to try and get some deep vision in the red side jungle of Reborn Gaming. So we know the Baron is up, could catch out Zinsky here, but it looks like Reborn wants to fight. They're going to go after Pectus. There's the Taric ultimate. They're going for the full engage. Wild Growth onto Pectus is going to keep him alive for a very long time. Buster Toad's going to eat a lot of damage. Now here comes Jihoon. He's trying to run through the front line, but he gets absolutely shredded. The Varus is dealing significant damage here. Down goes Pectus, and they're trying to run away. Prayer wants to chase him down the flash, but isn't able to land the slow, but still a great fight for Reborn Gaming. Jihoon's health bar got absolutely shredded through, and he is lucky to be alive.
Absolutely. Pops the ultimate and the ghost, so he pretty much just runs right in and then runs right. Has a lot of health to him with the Black Cleaver and the, his Tiamat item, but no really armor or magic resist to his name, no resistances, and with, this Varus being 9-0 now, has all that Rage Blade. Oh my god.
Oh, goodbye, Penguin. It's absolutely blown up by Pixel Dreams, who's able to score his 10th kill.
So much on-hit damage from Varus with the Rage Blade, the Blade of the Ruined King, and the Wit's End. Just shredding through these health bars. There's so much health on the side of No Name Necessary, but there's no resistances to counter this on-hit build.
Pixel Dreams could be in bigger trouble here. He is going to get caught out, and the Galio ultimate is not enough to save him. Wombat trying to assist his AD carry, but he is probably going to lose his life as well, trying to take down New Myra, but not enough damage. And that's the double kill there for the Sivir.
Yeah, good job. Varus thought he could get that back off. Gets interrupted right there at the end. Does end up blowing the heal as well. Didn't have the flash to go over the wall. So unfortunately, ruins his perfect game. 10-1-0 now. Still doing absolutely amazing. Prayer pushed up this bottom side. Does have the teleport. But there are some pings on the Baron. They do see it coming now.
Yeah, Hunter has arrived. Gonna possibly get in here for the steal, but he is going to be zoned away by Pectus. That's going to be Baron for No Name Necessary. No response from Reborn Gaming. This game is as close as ever.
Absolutely. Only a 1,500 gold lead over to the side of Reborn Gaming, which pretty much doesn't really mean much 30 minutes into the game. These games are extremely close, but in a lot of the gold is on Pixel Dreams. He is going to have to be the carry in these fights. So much is put into him. If he makes one wrong move and he gets taken out.
A summoner has disconnected.
Uh-oh.
A summoner has disconnected.
So Zinsky disconnected again, which caused Jihoon to disconnect because of the pause. So assuming Zinsky had some lag issues again, so hopefully we can get those figured out soon. Get those two players back into the game.
A summoner has disconnected.
Zinsky left again. Zinsky left twice. Didn't... Oh, he did reconnect in between. Zinsky, can we go for a three-peat?
A summoner has reconnected.
We got one back, baby.
Yeah, we did. Just waiting on one more now, and hopefully we can get back into this game. Very close game so far, this game 3. This entire series has been extremely close. These teams so equally matched.
A summoner has reconnected.
Oh, we may be just
There
about
we
ready to
go.
There we have it. We are back into this game. Hopefully, fingers crossed for no more pauses.
We can only hope. We see Pectus now. Pectus is actually pretty tanky. Has the Seraph's Embrace, Athene's Holy Grail, 300 health from her Merilanomicon. Sporting quite a bit of health. Especially with those shields coming up constantly.
And pause.
Oh, yay.
All right, time to open it up to chat. You guys got any questions for Audio and I? Just tag us in the chat. I don't know, Audio, do you have the stream open?
I do have the stream open.
Okay, cool. So just tag Audio and I in chat. Ask us any questions you have about the game. We will answer them during the pauses because something tells me this may not be our last one of the day. Back in the game one more time. Here comes Hunter, immediately flashing over the wall right after the pause. They're going to try and engage on CJ and Penguin, force the flash away. Wild Growth onto Umaira, but now they're going to just turn onto Buster Toast and burn him down, and Pixel Dreams is able to grab the kill. Now they're going to chase down the Sivir. There's the flip. Goodbye, Sivir, as she goes down. The double kill now to Wombat.
Whoa!
Just like that, out of the pause and into the fight, folks. Reborn Gaming get the 3-for-0 trade, and now they're going to look for the mid lane tower.
That was quick. So yeah, Vara's extremely far ahead now. Wombat does pick up those kills, but Vara's just doing a lot of the work, shredding through these health bars. The Rage Blade, the Wits End, the Blade of the Ruin King has the QSS to keep himself safe. Berserker's Greaves now finished, and we are back in a pause.
Perfect timing, because we do have a question from Danny Boy G, who, if I remember correctly, is in fact Gertson, the owner of GG415, asks, favorite champions, both to play and watch. I'll let you answer first, Audio.
My favorite champion is Lucian. Lucian was my first AD carry I ever played back in Season 4. I fell in love with him, you know, back when I was a like level 20 scrub. Yeah, I found him in a free week. But I've just always loved the mechanical power of Lucian, being able to, you know, dash around, offers a lot of safety. I loved the Blade of the Ruin King Black Cleaver meta. That's the meta I got out of bronze in. I got out of bronze with Lucian, but I love when he's in the meta. I'm sad when he's not. I'll play him. I've played him top. I've played him jungle. I've played him support. Played him mid. Definitely my favorite AD carry would be Lucian.
How about to watch? Same
To
answer?
watch. That's a difficult one. I don't think he'd be my favorite to watch. I think my favorite champion to watch would be Zoe, actually. I think the one shots are disgusting, but seeing the all of the, you know, summoner spells and, you know, items that she gets from her passive, and watching these sleepy bubble troubles, and she's just like a really like fun champion, lighthearted, but she does so much damage. It's just insane watching like these little bubbles pop out of nowhere and they completely delete people. So although I hate to play against her, I think she's a really fun champion to watch. She's got a lot of outplay mechanics. She's got, you know, bubbles flying everywhere. It's a fun time.
I would have to say my favorite champions to play would have to be both Bard and Rakan. Bard is one of my old favorite champions. I've been playing him since he was, you know, on the PBE before he was even released, and absolutely enjoy him. He's a champion that actually helped me get out of bronze back in the day, and my probably favorite right now though is Rakan. I just love. Yeah. He feels so good to play. You just have such high moments, getting some great engages, and then zipping through the team with your ultimate and then running away. So he feels super, super good to play, especially when you're paired with a Xayah. I mean, being able to engage from like a full screen away feels so, so good. So I
absolutely love the dialogue between them when you're playing Xayah and Rakan together. The voiceovers are absolutely hilarious.
I agree. And my favorite champions to watch would have to be Kalista. I don't know. There's something about watching a good Kalista in a team fight, just like juking around everybody and dealing out so much damage. It's super fun to watch, as well as Zac. I love watching Zac players. He's kind of the same as Rakan, that long-range engage, those really high moments when you land just an awesome elastic slingshot onto the team, combined with like a let's bounce to just go, hi, I'm just going to take your entire backline and bring them to my team. So those are definitely my two favorite champions to watch.
Yeah, and they are like the animations are really cool to see, like Zac's let's bounce, you know, seeing him flatten out against the ground, or you see Rakan's flare as he's knocking everybody into the air. Lots of swagger. Kalista though, she definitely is a really fun one to watch. Watching her hop around like a bunny rabbit. It's insane.
Yeah, so definitely thank you for the question there, Danny Boy G.
Guys, if any other questions, let us know in the comments. Speaking of, we were talking about the voiceovers from Xayah and Rakan though. My favorite, like, for a long time, my favorite champion was Draven. I love the primetime Draven skin, I think, has the best voiceovers, the best liners in the entire game. I don't really like the skin itself, but he has such hilarious lines, and there's so many too. Like for the taunt, there's like 4 different lines. For the joke, there's like 4 or 5 different ones. For the laugh, even has different laughs, and there's just so much like content in there. I love just sitting in lane, just spamming those lines. I think they're hilarious. But yeah, Lucian would be my favorite champ to play. Zoe to watch. Are still in this pause. Hopefully, believe it was Zinski that disconnected again. But hopefully he can get back into the game soon. We are 4 kills to 17, a 4,000 gold lead over to the side of Reborn Gaming. Definitely troublesome. This Varus 11, 1, and 2, 50, almost 50 CS lead, 41 CS lead over Umyran Bruh on the Sivir. About half an item up. Definitely going to be a challenge to deal with. Sivir, though, does scale extremely well. I would actually give, as far as scaling goes, I would give slightly more edge over to the Sivir in these late game fights, mainly just because with all of these crits that she can pull out, she can just be sitting in the backline. And if she's just auto-attacking these tanks, her crits are spreading to the entire team in the backline, and Pixel Dream's really going to have to watch his positioning for that, watching those ricochets. So if it gets to extremely late game, all of the protection available for the Sivir as well through Pectus's Karma and Penguin's Lulu, I think Umyran Bruck is really going to be in a situation if he gets to 6 items where he can, just completely carry these games. But we'll see if he's able to get there, or if the 11 and 1 Varus is just too much. Reborn Gaming closes out the series. We are in game 3, 1-2-1.
Yeah, both teams are, I believe, in discussions with the referees right now to get hopefully everything resolved. So we will be back as soon as this game is ready to go. All right, we are back a little bit to answer a couple of more questions, and Audio does have some thoughts on Kaisa for Swift Oblivion 7, so take it away.
Yeah, so I am an AD carry main, have been since season 4. I played Kaisa for. Oh, Swift, can you hear us? They say they can't hear us. Hopefully,
Well, they
the
couldn't
audio
because we
is
were
back
muted,
on.
but we're back.
Oh,
now.
okay. So hopefully the audio is back on now. So I played Kaisa for quite a bit on the PvE. Then I've been playing her, for the past couple weeks. I think she's right now. So far, I feel like she's a little underpowered. She has quite a few different builds that she can take. I've seen, the typical Blade of the Ruined King into Runan's Hurricane build. There's the Rage Blade on hit build, and there's the full crit build. Yeah, Danny, she definitely feels really good. She's a really fun play. There's a lot of cool outplays that you can make with her. Her E is really good. So her E speeds her up for, I think, like a second and a half, and then gives her a big attack speed boost. It's really good for gap closing and avoiding abilities. So I feel like if you are really good with her, she can be deadly. But I think she still needs some small damage buffs. Her Q early game just doesn't feel very great. The 5-hit passive is really weird to play with. But late game, she's an absolute monster. Early game, I think she might need a little nudge. I know Riot did just buff her Q damage, but she feels so much fun to play. She's a really fun champion. Especially because of her range, I feel like she's not the best choice right now. Things like Varus or Caitlyn can really punish her in lane because she does have a range of 525, which I think is like similar to a Vayne. So it's a really short range, and it's kind of hard to play with in the early levels. But once you get into the later levels where you're like dashing around and you're going invisible, it kind of helps out a lot. But early game, she can be really abused by things like a Caitlyn, like a Jinx, like a Varus. But so if you can get through that late game or early game though, and it really helps if you're paired with someone like an Alistar or Leona, someone who can apply your plasma, because it takes so long to get your 5 plasma stacks. A 5-hit passive is just really weird to play around. But if you can get an ally who can apply 2 stacks by hard CCing the enemy, and then you can even get 1 or 2 auto attacks, and then if you have your W, you can proc it that way too. That helps out a lot with her. So but yeah, I think she's a really fun AD carry. She's strong late game, but she can be abused early game. Really good at skirmishing too. So kind of similar to like a Lucian or a Vayne, good at skirmishing, but can be abused like with range. Obviously, I haven't played her. Only been playing her for a couple weeks, so I'm trying to get used to her as fast as I can. I'm level 7 on over half of the AD carries, level 6 on the rest, so I'm trying to get her up to speed. But maybe I can bring some more thoughts on her once I've played her for a couple weeks. I'll try to like do a video or something.
Another question that we did have, another one from Danny Boy G, was favorite restaurants.
Favorite restaurant? Ooh. I don't know. I don't actually go out to eat a lot. I actually work at a restaurant. I'm a chef actually. I'm a sous chef at a steakhouse. So I usually just eat at my steakhouse. But other than that, I'd say Chili's. There's a really good good
chicken crispers. Let's go.
There's a really good Chili's by me. Been going there for a lot of years. They have amazing service, amazing food. I know the chefs there personally, so they're always like doing things that they wouldn't give normal customers. So because of that, I really like Chili's. But yeah, I don't go out to eat a whole ton.
All right, well, we are back into game. I guess you'll just have to wait for my answer. But we do see Reborn Gaming moving over towards the Baron Pit. It is not available at this time, though, however, as we did see No Name Necessary grab it. That buff is still on Ji-Hoon Kim at the moment.
they don't actually check the pit, so there is still a control ward from No Name Necessary in the pit. Oh, looks like it was, they placed out another control ward though, so that one was removed. So never mind. No Name Necessary turning me into a liar once again. But next objective would be Baron, or not Baron, Dragon. There's an Ocean Drake coming up in about 45 seconds. No Name Necessary already has 2, so if they can get a third, that'll be very good for them, able to sustain up between these fights. 3 Ocean Drakes feels so nice. Basically a free Warmogs on every champion. So that'd be really good for the Warwick and the Olaf, as well as the mana regen for Sivir. Sivir is known to be very mana heavy. She does have her Essence Reaver and some crit. That'd be very nice for her to get that 3rd Ocean Drake and just keep her mana topped off in these fights, allowing them to siege or survive these sieges.
Yeah, late response from Reborn Gaming here as they look to set up around the Drake. Did cost them their tier 2 in the mid lane.
Yeah, it looks like they will probably get this Dragon uncontested. They decided to sacrifice that mid lane turret for all the vision control around the Dragon.
They could be looking for a fight here though, as Prayer does activate his ultimate. They're going to back away though, as Jihoon did go for the flank. Could we see something here? Wombat does have his ultimate available, so if Hunter is able to get into the backline, they could go for the full-on engage. Just going to clear out some waves, however, and look to get some pressure in the mid lane. Big Minion wave, though, pushing down on the bot side, and Reborn looks to rotate. Yeah, Hunter is going to be able to zone away the bot lane at least momentarily. Looks like it's going to give Reborn the inside track on this bottom tower, and that should go down fairly quickly now that Pixel Dreams has arrived. Looks like Jihoon Kim did want to go up top to push that big minion wave that's been created up there for No Name Necessary, but instead decides to join his team as Reborn is looking to aggressively push.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they'll be able to get up to that top wave. Shouldn't do too much damage, just a single cannon wave. But they are looking to siege on this bottom inhibitor turret. They do have super minions pushing into the middle lane, which will help them siege. But there's a lot of wave clear coming out from No Name Necessary with the Karma and with the Sivir specifically. So it's going to be very hard to siege against this team without something like a Baron or an Elder Dragon.
Yeah, they may need to force a fight unless they can work with these super minions, but it may be too late for that.
So really the next thing that Reborn Gaming should be looking to do is, you know, they're doing a good job of it already, but just starving out the jungle, getting lots of wards inside the enemy jungle, trying to take all of their camps, make sure that Reborn Gaming doesn't, or No Name Necessary doesn't have any resources to work with. The less gold that they can get on them, the better. Reborn Gaming wants to keep this lead as much as possible. Don't let the Warwick get any more items. Don't let the Sivir get too much gold. Limit their options as much as possible. So they did clear out the bot side. Warwick was able to clear out his top side jungle. But Reborn Gaming is just going to be looking to kind of stall out until this next objective, which is the Baron.
Yeah, Baron will spawn now in 30 seconds, so Reborn could certainly go for that. Jihoon Kim is going to get stunned, activates the ultimate, but it might be a little delayed, but there's the Taric ultimate, going to delay some damage. Buster Toast is going to go down. Hunter able to grab that kill, and now they'll be able to pressure into the base. They have the 5v4.
Yeah, good pick by them. Another beautiful Taric ultimate. We've seen a lot of really great Taric ultimates this game. 4-man Taric ult delays or just gets rid of any aggression that No Name Necessary might want to follow up on after that ultimate from Buster Toast did connect. And now that the jungler is down, they should have no problem taking away this Baron.
Yeah, looks like No Name Necessary is going to attempt to respond here. I think they're just going to go for a hard push in the mid lane. This Baron
they don't really have the minion wave to do it, so I wouldn't expect them to go too far. Does look like they're backing off now, content to just go into the jungle, pick up a blue buff, maybe a couple of camps. They do have a really big wave pushing on the bottom side. I wouldn't expect them to do too much against the Baron. It's unfortunate that they won't really be able to use that to much effect. If it does get left alone, though, that'll be a huge wave that ends up building up against bot side. So our Reborn Gaming should probably clear that out before they try to siege anywhere else, because that will work against them in the long. We see Var is now completed QS or Mercurial Scimitar, picked up a BF sword. I would assume that would go into something like a GA. Could go into something like a Bloodthirster, but GA is the more likely item choice there for him. Just a little bit of survivability. Since he is 11-1, a lot of the team's gold wants to make sure he's alive as long as possible. Put out as much damage as he can. If he does, unfortunately, get caught by something like a Warwick ultimate. So Reborn Gaming wanting to push back into this mid lane to try to take on this inhibitor again. They do have the Baron minions in the base.
Yeah, Pixel Dreams just shredding through that inhibitor, and Pectus forced the flash away after Hunter gets the engage. There's the Taric ultimate. Pixel Dreams actually flashes out of it, but still able to survive the damage coming out from the Olaf. The Olaf is dead. There goes Buster Toast. This could be the game for Reborn. Myronbrood needs to survive as long as possible. They're very dependent on that Sivir to survive this game, but it's still a 5v3. There's the taunt onto the Lulu. Lulu forces a flash away. Penguin just surviving here. Prayer going fairly low. Gonna have to be careful. There's the ultimate coming out from Wombat. Will force no name necessary to back away, but some of the members are still gonna go down. There goes Prayer. Wombat gonna get the charge and will go down, but it doesn't matter. There goes the Sivir. Zinski able to grab the kill there. Pixel Dreams is still alive, and they can just fire onto the Nexus now. Hunter gonna zone away Pectus. Pixel Dreams firing onto the Nexus, and that's going to be the game. Reborn Gaming into this gauntlet run of a series, able to take down No Name Necessary.
What a game. Reborn Gaming comes out in force, huge lead, you know, in the middle and late parts of the game. Just the Varus 11-1-3 did an absolute incredible job. Pixel Dreams on that champion, you know, just absolutely demolished. And you saw there was so much, he was able to just juke out so many champions. There was so many times where he should have died, and through really impressive mechanics, he was able to keep himself alive, able to keep carrying the game. But actually, if you look at the damage charts, Sivir actually tops all other champions, coming in at 36.6 thousand damage, while the next highest was the Varus at 31.3. So Sivir, you can just see getting late into the game how much damage she was able to put out, and if the rest of her team would have been allowed to catch up and, you know, get those 6 items, could have been a completely different story. Unfortunately, though, No Name Necessary wasn't able to get to quite that late game stage. And Reborn Gaming takes home the series 2-1.
Now, I do have to ask you at this point, your MVP for this series, a very interesting one to watch, going back and forth, and those pauses definitely delaying everything for a little while. But your thoughts on MVP for the series between Reborn and No Name Necessary?
Yeah, that's a really tough one. I feel as if there was a lot of different, like throughout all 3 games, a lot of different things came together. A lot of players worked together really well to get those wins, especially in the first game. You know I gave my MVP vote over to Pixel Dreams because of his Caitlyn, but as well Wombat able to, you know, put down so much siege power with Hunter roaming around the map, able to you know, just get his team ahead so well. And it was the same in all of the games. It was really a team effort in every one. If I had to pick a MVP for the series, though, I think I just have to give it to Pixel Dreams. In the first game, he got it because he was able to be the catalyst of the composition that Reborn Gaming had put together. And in this game, I think he just played absolutely out of his mind. 333 CS, most in the game. He was almost 10 CS per minute or above the entire game. His mechanics were absolutely on point, able to survive in situations he absolutely should not have, and he outputs so much damage. And I think he played so well this game, as well as the first game, that he would be my MVP for the series.
All right, well, we are now, in fact, joined by Pixel Dreams, the 80 carry for Reborn Gaming after that 2-1 victory. And just want to ask you, Pixel, just your initial thoughts after that series. Obviously, Game 3 was a little weird with all of the pause time, and definitely makes it kind of a weird adjustment to come back in the game. But how are you feeling after that W?
A little mixed, because first of all, I want to say if there's any no-name necessary members watching the streamer now, our team actually got hit by a lot of fucking bugs during these series, and we really apologize for the pauses, because I know a really big problem was there was a couple plays that happened in both game 2 and game 3, where right after a pause, maybe a second or two after, there was some flash engages, and it was seen as a little dirty, and it wasn't our intention to like play dirty in any way. Zinski and Hunt both got hit by a bug where like they had no UI and they couldn't use abilities. So like if anyone remembers, game 2 we lost Rift Herald strictly because Hunt couldn't smite the Herald, and then game 3 right before Hunt flash rolling thundered over the wall was when Zinski got hit with the next UI bug. And like obviously we're glad that we won the series, but like yeah, it's just pretty shitty that it's like people are kind of thinking that we were just using like abusing pauses.
Well, I mean, considering how the pauses work, and I know you guys were working with some big ping issues there as well, so I think you're okay, and I think you guys certainly played well enough to win the series, so nobody can take that away from you guys. Audio, any initial questions here for Pixel?
Yeah, so both the first game and the third game, you were pretty dominant on that Caitlyn and on the Varus. The second game, though, kind of fell apart for you guys. Where do you think the second game went wrong, and why do you think it went wrong?
A lot of cockiness in our comms in the early game. Pride got a lot of solo kills early, and we started clowning around, and then that was when we got hit by like a majority of the pauses too. And really, it just like the pauses and the cockiness, it's like the combination of the two just like tore our mental and communication apart, and that game just like fell apart from there. It's literally where we started throwing, which was like Rift Herald, where we couldn't smite the Herald and then just fell behind from there.
Okay.
Now, you guys grab this victory. You move to 5-1 on the season, securely, in the top third of the league right now. You guys were kind of counted out at the beginning of the season. Expectations were very low. People really didn't know what to expect from your roster, but do you guys feel like you've responded and shown that you are clearly a top team in the league?
I guess the win rate on like the KDA speaks for itself. Like I don't blame people for underestimating us, because like I'm pretty I don't know anything about the ABL. Like I'm new this season, so like coming in, the only members on our team that people knew were Zinski and Prayer. Everyone else was just like fresh out of nowhere. So, and those key roles too, being like jungle, mid, and ADC. So people probably just threw us at the bottom because they just had no clue who we were.
So Pixel, like you said, you're new to the ABL here. In the first and third games, first one especially, your guys' macro was like really good. We were praising the entire time the plays that you guys were able to make around the map. Who's the shot caller on your team? Is it one of those more experienced guys, or is it some of the newer players? Like who's your guys' main shot caller?
In the early game, it's Hunt, and then in late game, it's me.
Okay, yeah, you guys. Like I said, if you just listen back to the stream, we were praising your macro plays. You guys were making really smart plays around the map, especially with starving out vision and stuff. So You guys, might seem like a newer team, or not many people know, but you guys play like you have been playing together for years.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Pixel Dreams. Congratulations on the victory as you guys look to move towards the final third of the regular season. Congratulations on the MVP selection as well. And we look forward to seeing more from Reborn Gaming the rest of this season.
Yeah, I look forward to next week's match too. I believe we're against FSG, and I think tonight it's going to be decided who takes first place between Reign of Kings and Full Send.
Well, there you go. Certainly setting up for a great match next week. So thank you so much for joining us. And as we look to finish off tonight's stream, I have to turn it over to you, Audio, for any final thoughts on tonight's series.
I thought tonight was a little bit of an odd one. We had a lot of technical difficulties, but I think both teams played exceptionally well. So even though Reborn Gaming was the winner overall 2-1, I think no name necessary. They are an incredible team, and they really showed what they had tonight, even through all the bugs that we had. So even though they lost, they should definitely be proud of the way they played, and they definitely proved that they belong up at the top of this series, and that they're not going to give up without a fight. So really want to give some respect over to them.
All right, I couldn't agree more. I think they can definitely hold their heads high after this match tonight. They've definitely showed that they can compete with the best of the best in the ABL, and they should continue to improve as they look to close out the regular season. But that will do it for us tonight, folks. A 2-1 victory for Reborn Gaming over No Name Necessary will secure them a 5-1 record as we close out week number 6, 2/3 of the way through the regular season. And we look forward to the final stretch beginning next week. Make sure to tune in next Monday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Mondays and Tuesdays are our stream nights, so make sure to tune in next week. As I peek over at next week's schedule, I can tell you right now who will be on stream. I can guarantee you we will have that match between Reborn Gaming and Full Send will be streamed next Monday, so make sure to tune in for that. And Tuesday will be followed up by a series between Reign of Kings and No Name Necessary, so a couple of good matches next week, so make sure to tune in for those. But that will do it for us tonight, folks. Thank you so much again for coming out to support us. Consider following and subscribing or donating. That link is in the description for any info about the ABL series. Also head over to ablseries.com. But that will do it, folks. For myself, Audio, everybody over at ABL Esports and the ABL series, we want to thank you so much for joining us tonight, and we will see y'all again next time.
Bye.